This is it, folks, for the round of 8. We're about ready to start the final match. HerO versus Polt, Captain America himself. Two of these players are fan favorites, not just here at the ESL studio in America, but around the world. People have been blowing up social media with that hashtag WCS on Twitter. We thank you for your tweets. We've shown a couple of them on the broadcast. Continue to show your support for esports and for StarCraft 2 all weekend long as we continue the momentum into the road to BlizzCon and then BlizzCon itself. We're all excited about who will be the WCS champion of this year. But we still have to crown an American champion. We still have to give somebody $25,000, and that's going to happen tomorrow at 3 p.m. when we go live. But the final match, folks, for tonight is about to begin. It's my pleasure one more time to kick on over to our commentators, Nathanius and Rotterdam. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Clutch. It's been a long day of StarCraft, but it's definitely been a very fun day. It started off, the Koreans definitely just running over the Canadians. There's no other way to put it, but I think that last series was very fun and very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, Bomber games are always a treat, and then Pig Baby was putting out a couple of very interesting strategies himself. This series, to me, is you have the balance play right. Both of these guys play pretty straight up. Sometimes you get a little bit of aggressive play. Polt's busted out some interesting aggressive plays in the Battlegrounds. Washington, we took out players like Party. HerO, we know, is no stranger to the Stargate openings, but can also play out that late game with a lot of finesse and fancy micro moves.
Yeah, I like that you bring up DC, because I actually sort of forgot about that. But Polt, of course, he looked pretty damn strong against Protoss in that series. He played against Trap as well, correct?
Yeah.
And he looked really good in that series.
He won that rematch to get the 3rd place.
Yep. So overall, Polt's TVP looked intimidating as ever, but HerO is pretty confident going into this series. Needless to say, it means a lot to him. Not only did he have a pretty unsuccessful WCS America 2014, but his BlizzCon dream is on the line. He wants to go there. Jaedong knows that there is only one more player that could eliminate him from BlizzCon, and that could be HerO. But of course, often with stories like this, it's that last guy, Nate, that puts up a good show and that makes a deep run. It's going to be difficult, but in a weird way, I have a good feeling about HerO today. I know that he's a small underdog going into this series, and HerO's play have definitely been shaky over the last few months, but we know that he's still Liquid HerO, and he's still got the magic touch. If he makes it to a certain phase in the game, he is still one of the best Protoss players in the world.
It's really interesting, because you mentioned especially the confidence, which, it seems, okay, Bomber's confident, we'll talk about that, but, it's like, how much does the confidence really affect a player's ability to play? For someone like HerO, it tends to be in a really big way, very, very heavily influencing their performance. And for a player like him, I think that gives him an interesting position in this series because Polt has always been monster in TVP. If you're a Protoss player, no matter how good you are, he is one of the last Terrans you want to have to go up against. He is the only guy, I think, the only player I've seen confident enough that has not done like an SCV pull against Protoss in any game I've seen of him this year. I could not name a game or tournament where Polt pulled SCVs against Protoss because he needed it to win. Like he is that good. He will play out the game as long as it needs to be.
For the last time, we have sat down with these two players as well, just to hear some of their thoughts about their year and their performance overall. So let's take a look at these two videos.
My name is Sung-Hoon Choi. My in-game nickname is Polt. I'm playing for CM Storm right now. I'm currently the rank 5th for the WCS points, and it means I guaranteed my spot for BlizzCon. And it's very glorious because it's the BlizzCon thing is the best tournament in this year. Other players are improving as well. It didn't even if I sit on the same spot as the last year, it doesn't guarantee my winning. So I had to improve as well, and I figured that out like just a couple months ago, and now I'm catching them back. Since this is my job, of course the money matters, and from when I was really young, I always wanted to be the best. What I was focusing on, and the StarCraft 2 is right now that thing, so I want to be the best StarCraft 2 player. So that's the other reason. Of course I want to win every single tournament I attend, but it's nearly impossible because because if I show my some special strategies, they can prepare for to counter my strategies. But yeah, I have a few strategies, but there's some limits. I can make like 100 strategy or more than that. So it's kind of difficult, but I have to make a decision. The best way to handle that is see my opponent and play just normally it's best of 3 or 5, so I can play the first game and see can I hide my strategy or do I have to use it right now, and I make a decision. I'm Polt. You're watching WCS America.
Hi, I'm Liquid Hero. I'm Protoss. 저번 시즌에 블리즈컨 때 가서 그 별다른 성적을 내지 못하고 그 제대로 된 그 메인 스테이지에서도 경기를 못 해봐서 많이 아쉬움이 항상 남아 있었는데 꼭 1등이나 2등까지 해서 이번 블리즈컨도 참가 꼭 하고 싶어요. 이번 시즌 전까지 올해 WCS에서 좀 성적이 많이 안 좋아서 마음고생이 많이 심했는데 만약에 이번 시즌에 좋은 성적 거두게 되면 되게 감회가 새로울 것 같고 그 예전에 느꼈던 그 기분을 다시 느낄 수 있을 것 같습니다. 저 같은 경우는 좀 승부에 대한 그 약간 집착도 좀 심한 편이고 약간 지면은 너무 좌절감에 이렇게 쉽게 빠지는 그런 성격을 가지고 있어서 좀 긍정적인 면과 부정적인 면이 있는 것 같은데 좀 예전보다는 상당히 많이 긍정적으로 이렇게 많이 바뀐 것 같고 지금은 저도 그 하루 정도는 되게 상당히 힘든데 그래도 하루 지나면은 되게 많이 털어내고 다시 이겨내는 편이에요. Hi, I'm Liquid Hero. You're watching WCS America.
I really love that piece with HerO. I think, as always, I even spoke to him today earlier, and I was like, hey, that was a really good interview. He's like, well, thank you. I'm just being honest. I was like, well, I appreciate it. It felt very real. It felt very sincere, and he meant it.
You know, it takes a lot to really be able to face the things that have been, you know, keeping you from playing in your peak condition. And if he's been able to accept that, if he's able to use it to make himself stronger for this match, he just needs this run here to make it to BlizzCon. And Polt, still one of the hardest opponents you're going to have to play in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, his entire bracket is going to be extremely tough, because if he wins this one, he's going to have to go up against Bomber, a player that's been posting phenomenal results over the last few months. The only time I can remember Bomber losing was that Season 2 finals against Big Baby, and of course in the quarterfinals of the Caspa Cup against CJ and his HerO, the other HerO. Anyways, let's take a look at the map veto. Polt vetoes Deadwing. HerO decides to veto Foxtrot Labs. Not a huge surprise there. I'm not too surprised that Polt vetoes Deadwing, because it's a very large map, and like we said before, if HerO makes it to a comfortable late stage in the game, he is still one of the best Protoss players out there. If you give him 2 War Prisms and 3 bases to work with, your life is going to be very difficult as a Terran player. Instead of dropping, you're the one being dropped. So I think it's very smart for Polt to veto that map.
Yeah, I mean, Catalina, pretty good map pick for Polt to kick things off. Lets you do a lot of dropping, very open for Reaper scouting at the start of the game. King Sejong Station is another map that I feel like we've seen HerO play pretty well on. You have a lot of, in the later game, I think it's also very nice for the War Pleasant play that you mentioned. And even for Stargate play, which you've seen him bust out, can be a good option as well.
And if it goes all the way to map number 5, the designing map will be Overgrowth. So it would be kind of funny to see them duke it out at the most well-known map, I would say.
Yeah.
At least the most played map in the current map pool, Overgrowth. If we go all the way, it's going to be difficult for both of these guys. Polt is a favorite on paper. He's been posting much better results than HerO has over the last few months, but it would be that Cinderella story for HerO, and it would be that nightmare story for Jaedong to suddenly see HerO go all the way. It's a very interesting series. There is a lot on the line for both of these. Polt said it pretty much every single tournament he goes to, he wants to win it. But he also said, yeah, that's not very realistic, but I am still going to try. At this tournament, Polt is already, of course, he secured his spot at BlizzCon a long time ago. Was also one of the very first players to clinch one of those tickets. But there's still a lot of money on the line.
Yeah, and we also talk about the seeding that can change as well. I think Polt, if he wins this season of WCS America, he takes the number 2 seed overall, which would end up putting would he be him against Innovation, right then?
So maybe in the final, I wouldn't put my money on Polt. It's like, well, I rather avoid that Innovation guy. We're just going to see like the final 2 guys that really don't want to win. It's like, no, you take it. No,
I mean, it's like Hyun's like, I mean, I'll take the money. My seeding isn't going to change.
Exactly. HerO, like we said before, had a very rough 2014 in WCS America. He was the winner of Season 1 in 2013. It started off so promising. Then in Season 2 2013, he dropped out in the round of 32. That was a huge upset to see, you know, the reigning champ drop out immediately. Season 3, he kind of bounced back, but he lost in the quarterfinals back then against Oz, I believe. As back then he just like lost a lot of PvPs and he didn't really want to play against Oz. But quarterfinals was still like an okay result. This year, however, it's not been the same HerO. 2 round of 32 exits. That's not what you expect from HerO in an still predominantly foreign tournament. Yes, there are a lot of Koreans in WCS America, but in the end of the day, HerO is one of those guys that normally stands out of the bunch. You know, he's one of the absolute top dogs. He's not someone who drops out in the round of 32 twice.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for him in WCS, and now is his final chance to make one last reach. If he can get it, if he can get there, if he can get to the finals, if he can take it all, he will be able to go to BlizzCon. And what would for him be a miracle run considering his WCS performance throughout the year so far. But he has one hell of an opponent to go up against. Arguably one of the best Terrans in this matchup overall, period. And someone that on a map like this that we're going to kick things off on, well, you gotta hide your nexuses, man, because he's coming for him.
Yep. Over here on the 9 o'clock position of Catalina, one of the most consistent players in the world, representing Cooler Master Storm, it is Polt. Actually, I think if he wins it, Nate, he might actually put himself in first spot. Unless Sean makes the final, then maybe Sean is still first. But I think if he wins it, then he overtakes Sean. Because he has like 5,300 points now already, so plus 1,500 would put him at 6,800.
Yeah, it gets complicated when you.
It depends a lot
on how
on
much they've already earned this season and how much more they can get. Because Hyun is also getting more points now too, but it's still it's a matter of being in that top 16 at all for this guy representing Team Liquid in blue. He is HerO. We've had 2 players so far in today's quarterfinal matches have their BlizzCon dreams squashed. HerO is the only player left now that can upset the current 16-player pool that we have to kick off BlizzCon next month.
Yeah, of course, HerO was part of BlizzCon last year, but he did lose in the round of 16 against SOS back then, I believe. That was once more that period that he just kept running into Protoss players, and it was really sad because obviously it wasn't his strongest matchup, but he also got so unlucky back then. I just remember casting all his PvPs. Every single time he went Stargate, he went up against the Twilight opening. Whenever he had no Robo, he was playing against DTs. It was almost sad to see because I casted most of those games. I was just like, man, this guy, he can't catch a break. But that's a long time ago. He probably forgot about that. Of course, he did have his fair share of success earlier this year, winning the Intel Extreme Masters. But since then, it's been quiet. I would even say too quiet around his name, as he is still such a fantastic StarCraft player.
Yeah, these are the kind of guys that have been around. If you look at the top 4 here so far, at least who is looking to shape up for this top 4. Players that have been around for a really long time in StarCraft, and
some of the highest earners as well in the StarCraft scene.
Yeah, all these guys have big history. Maybe Heart has the least
Yep.
of the players that are remaining, but still is someone that's been around for a long time, playing GSL, Code S, and the heydays of 111 and whatnot. But all veterans in their own right.
Definitely. Now, of course, for HerO, once again, it's going to be important that he makes it to a certain stage in the game without taking too much economic damage, without being too far behind. First, Reaper shows up, is a little bit annoying, forces HerO to temporarily pull a couple of probes away from the gas. He even lost some gas there, Nate. You see that? Some probes were carrying gas and they went to mine minerals. I would never do that. That is 8 gas you will never find back.
That's it. It's gone.
It's in the void.
It's one of the few ways to actually erase resources from the map.
Yes.
And this Reaper is going to continue to try to be annoying and harass those pros mining gas. I got confirmation, so if Polt wins WCS America, I don't know if it's dependent on Hyun beating Heart, but then he will take first seed overall.
Yes.
And if Bomber were to win, then he would tie for first.
Ooh, interesting.
It does shake things up. I mean, it feels really weird to imagine Hyun not being first, considering how long he's held that spot.
I mean, it's going to be extremely difficult for Hyun tomorrow because he's going up against Hart. I think that's going to be an absolutely killer semifinal. I'm so hyped about it already.
Yeah.
One hand, I'm kind of wishing it was today. On the other hand, 4 best of 5s is a lot of StarCraft. Nate.
That's
Maybe-
a lot of StarCraft.
maybe a little bit of
The,
sleep.
the Europeans that have stayed up late, man, you don't want
Yeah.
to kill them.
I still want to give a big shout out as well before.
If anyone's still up.
No, actually they are, Nate. I just received a tweet from, I think, I forgot the name, damn it. But he's from Finland. He knows who he is. And yeah, sorry, man. It's been a long day, guys. And from HerO, I think, he's from Portugal, and he's tweeting as well. And a couple of tweets from Holland as well. So big shout out to my fellow
This
Dutchies.
is really nice, though, being able to find this probe that's
Yes.
out on the map.
But yeah, some of the Europeans, Nate, they have that burning passion. They go all night.
That is a lot of passion.
Stargate is the choice of tech for now for HerO. You already said it in the start of the series. HerO's definitely a player who loves his Stargate openings. And this is the type of Stargate opening that if he does damage with the Oracle, ooh, good scout there for the Reaper. If he does damage with it, that's nice, but he doesn't really rely on this Oracle doing too much. It's more important that, you know, he's annoying, he sees what's going on, he can keep track of the medevacs and stuff like that.
This guy's like, I saw a probe earlier. I will find him again. Oh, turns out just not moving at all is the ideal way to hide.
You know what would be really cool if you could kill the probe and pick up the 5 minerals and then bring it home.
You know,
He's like, I killed the probe and I robbed him.
When you look at weird base trades we've had in StarCraft, that could actually decide games.
Oracle is going to fly in, but of course Polt, after scouting it with the Reaper, it's going to be hard for this Oracle to find a whole lot of openings. But actually, you know, 3 SCVs, that's much more than I often see, especially after it got scouted.
For a 2-base Oracle play, this is generally not as not as damage inflicting, but it's nice. He gets a full scout, picks up the SCVs. That's not a bad start.
And it
for HerO.
survives, Nate. That is
And
something.
it survives. He doesn't have to go all the way up to Oracle number 5.
No. Of course, HerO, he actually has Phoenixes behind this. Now that is interesting. That's not something I necessarily expected. Of course, this is a build that has been becoming a little more popular again over the last few months. It kind of goes in curves with the Phoenixes in this matchup. Sometimes you see them very often, then you don't see them at all anymore, and then suddenly someone brings it back, wins a couple of games with it, then everybody does it, and then like they die again against Mass Vikings, and then they stop doing it.
It seemed to gain a lot of popularity, and then a couple players like went for these weird builds with Thors. Oh, Oracle's still alive. And then like those once the Terran players started to adjust their styles to it, Widowmines even help a lot against it since they're buffed too.
Now, of course, the power of the Phoenix as well is still being hidden. He's getting charged as well. Do you think he's setting himself up for some really crazy 2-base play? Now, he has a Forge as well, so I guess that's not the case. Interesting tech choice over here from HerO, because he's not aiming for Colossus at all, and I think it's safe to say that over the last few months, Colossus have proven to be pretty damn important in this matchup. They've always been, of course, but especially in this day and age of TVP.
Revelation cast so that he can keep his eyes on this army. HerO will have vision of these Marines for about a solid minute, which is nice.
But this is nice because I don't think that Polt is expecting Phoenixes. Now, if you expect Phoenixes, then often you don't move out too early because you don't want to give away free units. Phoenix is one of the few units other than force fields which will allow Protoss to really chase. And of course, you know, Blink Stalks you could say, but that's only if you actually win the fight.
He's going to go straight for the Templar Archive. So
Yeah, like maybe Phoenix Archon charge a lot.
Oh, baby.
But he has over 50 probes already, so I have the idea he does want to go up to 3 bases.
Yeah,
But the thing is, the most important thing is like Polt does not expect this yet. So if he really commits and if he loses 2 medevacs full of bio units, that hurts. That stops Polt from being aggressive in the near future, and that's going to give a lot of freedom and above all comfort to HerO.
Yeah, this Oracle actually skirting around could find this poor lonely SCV defenseless building that base. Oh, Marines pick off a Phoenix, not bad. Engaging this army in the center of the map. Before that +2 armor finishes, he can
These
trade a
units
little
are
bit.
pretty much committed though for Polt. Like eventually these chartwells should be able to clean up, unless they just run in one by one. But these Phoenixes should be able to
and
shut
then the
this
Phoenix
down.
will get the medevacs.
Yeah, like there's no way that if Polt expected Phoenixes, then he would have been in this position. He's going to pick up some of these Marines. For now, he's doing a really good job, at least making it as hard as possible for HerO. But eventually, these units should die.
Yeah, I mean, it gets closer to a choke point, which can help, but there's no way you win this fight. I mean, at some point or another, you might as well just have the Marines try to fight and get the medevacs the hell out of there.
Yeah.
But it's going to lose everything.
Yep.
Really nice play by HerO.
Yeah, exactly. This is nice. That's why you don't want to review one Phoenix running a little bit low on HP. You definitely don't want to lose them, because Phoenixes are very useful. Nice use of Grafton Bean over there. He's going to pick up all of these Marines, and HerO cleans this up without losing too much. There is a drop, however, in this natural, but he also has units in position, a cannon. Let's not forget that Storm is on the way.
It's really important
Wow.
that Polt scouted the Archon.
Oh.
Oh,
Ooh, if
and
all
he's
6 of those
Phoenix.
Phoenixes would have started working on that medevac
He's
immediately.
Phoenix. Yeah, but the thing is, Polt actually built 4 Vikings. As a Terran player, sometimes when the Protoss opens up with Phoenix, you just blindly assume that they're going for Phoenix
Oh,
Colossus.
careful there,
Wow.
HerO. Loses 2 Phoenix. He already dropped 3 Phoenixes throughout the entire game. That's a few more than you really want to lose, because they're really expensive units. Now you see him adding another Phoenix again. So that's a little bit sloppy, but other than that, things are still looking okay for him. He's making it into Storm pretty comfortable. Like, he's not under a whole lot of pressure, didn't really take any economic damage.
Polt doesn't have a Ghost Academy, so he's just relying on pure bio play. And like I said, he didn't commit himself too hard on Vikings, because sometimes you start to get worried that your opponent goes for Phoenix Colossus, which most players agree. You need 2 reactored starports, just cranking them out endlessly.
We might get some storm drops, but you did mention the Vikings, so once his War Prism goes in, there's a good chance that it's pretty committed. HerO, despite being onto 3 bases, he really wants to make something happen over here. He's like, hey, I got Storm, I got Charge, I got an armor upgrade as well. Let's just try my luck over here. It's going to be really hard for Polt if there is like a Zealot Warp in and Storm drops and morphing into an Archon in his main, and then also defend against this army on this side of the map. The War Prism is moving in towards the main base.
Yeah, HerO's trying to make some fancy plays happen. There's the Storm. Gets Polt. Majority of that mineral line. Not bad. Even has a Zealot there to boot. Finish off a few of these SCVs.
That one additional Zealot's actually really nice. Slices a couple of those SCVs that were low on HP. 21 SCVs have died.
Cheap investment, high payout.
Yep, and now the Robo Bay is about to finish up. This is old school HerO. This HerO is looking very solid, very complete so far. He's dictating the pace of the game, and that is really not easy as a Protoss in this day and age of this matchup. So really well done. Again, he's just pushing Polt around. Polt has to chase, has to pull SCVs, has to clean up Zealots. While during all this, HerO is on 61 workers on 3 bases, and soon he is going to be a Protoss that has both access to Colossus and Storm.
Yeah, Polt has all those 4 Vikings patrolling now on the edges of his bases. Just trying to make sure that War Prism does not return, but HerO's looking pretty damn sharp this game. You have Polt,
Very
the guy
sharp.
that likes to be inside of your base most of the game with his drops, trying to snipe Nexuses, but...
And you know something that we have joked often about in the past, and there's definitely a little bit of truth in it, that sometimes HerO makes the game overly complicated for himself. Like, he could just wipe in a bunch of units and win, but he likes to make this game hard. And again, right now, the way that he's playing Protoss, that is really difficult. He's controlling an Oracle with Revelation. He's moving around with Phoenixes. He's Warp Prism harassing. He's stacking up to all the different things, and he's still harassing with Zealots as well. So again, HerO with some really advanced play needs to drop these units, gets 2 High Templars out. Storms will still go down on a couple of these SCVs.
And they can morph into an Archon and just be annoying.
Yep. Like, Polt is not able to attack. How often do you... Oh, the SCVs are really clumped up, though. The Archon... Okay, there are enough bio units, I think, to take
Still
out the
kills
Archon.
more SCVs anyway.
31 workers. Really solid play so far from HerO. I'm excited to see this, Nate.
Polt can't drop. How often can you say that?
I know, Polt is just defending. Polt's probably wondering like, hey, what's happening? Again, Zealots is running into the natural. This is a hero that I have not seen in a while. Couple of ghosts as well. One ghost will fall. Ghosts are very expensive units. You can't just let them die. This is a good drop though by Polt. Feedbacks go down.
Finally gets inside of HerO's base, grabs the Forge, and well, we know Polt likes to set his phasers to Nexus.
Yeah, but all these units are sort of committed. Here come the Phoenixes. Polt knows he can't really pick up these units. Like, getting the Nexus is nice, but he's losing a crazy amount of bio units to do so. Oh, what a storm by HerO.
Yeah, I mean, that storm was almost overkill at that point. Oh, goodness gracious.
I still like HerO's position.
I mean, he's still 3-base Protoss. He's got his main on the way again. And Polt, the Terran player, is behind on supply in a matchup where generally you want to be ahead on it.
As those 3 Immortals in the mix as well, it's of course important that they won't be too exposed because an EMP can hurt them, especially if there are a few Morales in the mix as well. But yeah, Phoenixes have a lot of energy, just try to be
Phoenix
annoying.
have been worth their weight in gold this game.
Yep.
Like, oh my goodness, this Phoenix.
HerO's gonna move in. There are high tablets. He has to be careful because this is a good Protoss army, but definitely not an unbeatable one. He's gonna lift up the Ghost. Good play there. Only one EMP remains. Wow, now the Storms is going to be a whole different ball game. There might be some bio units coming in from the other side.
How he stopped. There's a Colossus here too.
Mr. Turret is annoying, but the Mr. Turret will get picked up. All of these units are really clumped up. Here come those high Templars.
Polt's gonna come from behind. He's got his army coming in from the 3rd base, trying to flank, but he's actually gonna intercept a couple of Templars. Storms are gonna drop all over Polt's army. He will get the Colossus eventually, hitting from both sides, but the Storms have reduced his army to rubble, Roddy.
Yeah, I think Polt will still hold because he has bio units coming in from every single angle, but there are so I think HerO did enough damage to justify throwing away half his army. He lost a lot of expensive units there, but he did so much damage. Again, Polt is just defending, he's just sitting back. All that HerO needs right now is 2-3 Colossus, and then you get a high Templar or 2, and then you just complement it with Zealots and Stalkers, and you should be fine.
Yeah, Polt not even mining off of that 3rd base anymore. He has taken so many blows to his economy.
And look at those upgrades as well, Nate. 3-3 is on the way, double fort spinning. Of course, Polt has 2 to himself, but there's no way that he has money right now for those 3-3 upgrades. He starts producing SCVs again, 3 at a time. Very beautiful game so far by HerO. Small overcommitment there, because throwing yourself all the way in a Terran Natural without a reinforcement pylon, without a Walk Prism.
DTs. He's going to send a DT over to that 3rd. When you're trying to mule City, man, that's not what you want to see.
Nope. HerO just did it all this game. Man, what beautiful play by HerO. How exciting.
This is really sick, man. He has completely manhandled Polt, and on a map that I think is pretty Terran favored for this matchup.
If Le Tot was watching this, he would say, I do not understand why he plays Catalina. But, well, Johan, it's possible.
He's making it happen, that's for sure. These Storms just to buffer against this army, now being able to hit, but you know, when your Storms don't hit a lot because there's no army to hit, it's not really that bad.
Now, a couple of Phoenixes again chasing down those Medevacts, making it so frustrating for Polt. He can't just pick up his units and save them. GG!
Damn.
HerO with an almost flawless game on Catalina. He came prepared so far, Nate. That looked good.
I mean,
that is probably the best game I've seen HerO play since that IEM tournament.
Yeah, that did not seem like the same guy that we've watched play in WCS America the last 2 seasons. Completely different beast.
Yep. Of course, it's one of those builds. How amazing it was. I wouldn't say it's a one-time build, but what really allowed HerO to put himself in a good position is the fact he kept those Phoenixes hidden. If Polt knows there are Phoenixes out on the map, he doesn't move out with 16 Marines and 2 Medevacts, because that is the phase in the game where normally Terran wants to fight, unless you play against the Phoenix build. Then it's Protoss wants to fight right now, because I have charge, I'm stronger on the ground, and you can't retreat by air. So it's really awkward. Like, the tables are turned, and suddenly this is where Protoss wants to fight. And if Polt would have known, he wouldn't have put himself in that position. So awesome game by HerO, don't get me wrong, absolutely awesome, but not something that he can get away with in the next 2 games as well.
No, he's going to have to be able to keep his strategies flexible. He needs to have a little bit of variety. The next map that we're going to play on, King Sejong Station, I feel you still have that opportunity for an Oracle opening if you want to keep Polt on his toes, especially with how strong his follow-up to the Oracle was. Using the same style of build can maybe instill a little bit of fear into the Terran player's heart and keep him guessing.
Yeah, we will see. It could also be maybe like HerO in the past also likes to switch it up with Blink Stalkers every now and then. Might throw in a Dark Templar opening. I think above all, Polt will know, like, wow, I'm going to have to scout even more than I already did, because I did scout the Stargate, but I kind of just expected you to, you know, do what Protoss players are supposed to do, make an Oracle and then go up to Colossus, because otherwise you're in trouble. Well, if you can keep your Phoenix hidden, it's a very, very good and useful unit in this matchup.
Yeah, that is for sure. And just really great use of Graviton Lift during the drops, picking off those ghosts.
Yeah. And
He
even
denied him 2 EMPs, which, when you look at how that fight went, that could have been game-saving.
And it was old school HerO. He just kept his opponent so busy with defending that his opponent was never really able to attack. And
That's all Polt does.
Yeah, and that is a beautiful way of playing Protoss, something we see very rarely, because Protoss is often portrayed as this defensive race that just sits back and is the one defending. It was a complete opposite. HerO played as the Terran in that matchup, and it was beautiful. I really liked that first game.
Yeah, fantastic start to the series for our Protoss player, of course, keeping that BlizzCon dream alive as he is in the top left spawning location of King Sejong Station. Representing Team Liquid, he is HerO.
Over here, on the right bottom side of King Sejong Station, we have the most consistent player in WCS America. Give it up for Polt. Just to go over Polt's history within WCS, all 6 seasons. The first season he ever played in, he made it to the round of 16, and that was his worst performance ever. Season 2 he won it, Season 3 he won it, and then this year it was like quarterfinal, semi-final, and now quarterfinal again. That is incredibly impressive. Yeah. Nice tweet coming in as well from VFU Kuda. He says, don't forget about the Brazilians. I wouldn't dare. Big shout out to everyone who's watching from Brazil. And they have a very passionate scene as well. The Sao Paulo crowd during the IEM that I was at was awesome earlier this year. And in 2012 as well, when Violet won. Those guys are great. I'm in the UK and I'm still awake.
Damn.
Passion.
The passion is real.
But like it's 1 hour earlier in the UK than it is in the rest of Europe, so he's having an easy time.
Yeah, that's easy, Captain.
You know, like the rest of Europe is suffering at 6 a.m. He's only at 5 a.m. So come on, brother.
It's
The least you could have done is take a flight to Eastern Europe and be really hardcore.
It's going to be a Reaper opening from Polt once again. Probe is being in this mineral line means that Polt wanted to do some trickery. Be a little bit difficult as he's going to have his eyes on how long these SCVs mine that gas for. Polt will still SCV scout on top of this. I don't know if he wants to do something like an engineer may block, but he just wants to make sure that HerO's not doing anything super crazy, because he's been known to occasionally throw out a proxy here and there.
I wouldn't be too surprised to see Blinkstalker play on this map from HerO. I don't know why, I just have this feeling. It's something that you can catch Polt with off guard. Polt switches up his openings a lot, of course, like every good Terran should do. And if this would be one of those occasions where Polt only makes 1 Rex before going into a factory and a starport, Blinkstalker play could be the best thing that ever happened to HerO. Other than winning lots of money by playing StarCraft 2.
Yeah, that's also quite nice.
That was probably a very good thing in his life.
I imagine that's
like
probably
HerO,
better.
HerO has not won as many tournaments as a Tasia, but he has won way more prize money because he always won the big ones. Like he won tournaments of 40,000, 25,000. So he knows when to win.
Yeah, Polt's going to go for this this quick factory follow-up, as he's been mining quite a bit of gas since that probe left his base.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what HerO decides to do. He still has that probe, right? No, did he send it back? Ah, he did send it back.
Polt is that guy to go for the mine drop, though. I'd be surprised if we saw the Hellion play out of him. He has done it before, but I don't know. I just feel like
he has done this before. He might actually be able to pick up that SCV. That's really frustrating for Polt.
That is really...
Yep, because if you take a look at the supply as well, 25 out of 27. Polt relies on this... Oh, is that second SCV going to be able to finish it? That's all that HerO needs, really. Ooh, he's playing with Fire Nade.
You really can't afford to lose that Mothership Core. It's like, this play is great until that Mothership Core dies. Then it's the worst decision you've ever made in your whole life.
All right, Twilight Console is going down. HerO did not see the factory yet, correct?
Yeah. Polt is going to build 2 Hellions. Okay, so his build looks just like Bombers.
Yeah, but if he sees that factory, this is a great scout. What great play with his Mothership Core. This is also, it looks also simple, as long as he doesn't lose it, like you said there.
Yep.
Okay, he's not going to lose it yet. he doesn't really. The thing is, you don't. Oh, this is actually kind of awkward because now this mothership core is so far away from home.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Yeah, he can't vote an overcharge.
Those two stalkers have to be the real heroes.
Yep.
I mean, I'd love if you just send the Reaper around into the main base, and then the Hellions run by to the natural, and you just keep your opponent uncomfortable.
It's like, hey guys, nothing to see here.
Mothership core.
These Marines are like, I smell something in the air.
In the old days, that Mothership core would be able to see those Marines from there.
Okay, this is a great Reaper scout, of course, for Polt. Polt is going to see that Twilight Console is indeed researching Blink. It's nice to know that my spider senses work every now and then as well, Nate.
Yeah, warp
They
gates
just never
finished.
work when I actually play this game.
Yeah, Polt knows what's up. I'm surprised he's still building some Hellions. I don't like Hellions versus Stalkers very much.
Nope. This is because Polt's follow-up is of course going to be weak. He doesn't have a whole lot of bioproduction behind this. Widow Mines are good against Blink Stalkers, so that makes a lot of sense. But if Polt wouldn't be able to do a lot of damage with this opening, he's really giving HerO an open invitation to just try his luck out with 3-gate Blink Stalker on the other side of the map.
The Robo on top of this is the real cherry for this Sunday, because once you have the Observers, those Widow Mines are useless, and Stim is going to be...
And King Sejong is one of the best maps to blink in and out.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Stim, as early as it'll be done, like, if you don't have Metavacs, you're really killing your own army because they'll blink away.
Good little SimCity as well. Hellions will still be able to get a couple of shots off, but that's about it. That's really not what you're hoping for when you make 5 or 6 Hellions. This arrived a little bit late. HerO tried to go very ambitious there, go up to 3 bases at the 8-minute mark. It's definitely possible with the opening that he has, because he knows that Polt's real production is going to kick in a little later than it would have had if he had gone for a 2-Rex or a 3-Rex opening.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Bomber had himself set up, he was having his Metavacs coming out at this time with Stim already done, so this is a much more comfortable place to be for the Protoss. With all those Metavacs, you have your Photon Overcharge, you're pretty safe.
Polt was, I think, a tiny bit worried that he would cancel Blink and followed up with a Dark Templar play, because that's something that sometimes happens. I think that's why he threw down a missile turret, which makes sense, but he doesn't have to worry about it just yet. He will identify that HerO is going up to 3 bases. The observer from HerO will see the Widow Mines in the middle of the map as well. Stalkers might be able to intercept it. Yes, good pick up there.
Bad.
3 more gates going down as well, but he does of course have the robotics facility.
Bolt's like, there's somewhere I can squeeze in here to kill probes.
I think next time HerO builds that pylon on the other side of the assimilator.
Every little grab, those are these random probe kills are starting to add up. He's got 9, which, given the way that HerO set himself up defensively, is not too bad.
Oh, from downtown, Nate. From downtown. Well done there. That Stalker got it.
This is the ambitious Widow Mine. This is the knife that waits.
Yeah. There are not too many probes yet on the map though for HerO, so I don't think he would transfer a whole bunch. He actually just has perfect saturation on his bases now, so there's really no need for him to transfer a bunch of workers. But it's a cool idea from Polt. I don't think it's going to work out. Of course, the first fight is going to be dangerous. HerO doesn't really have anything that's very strong in a straight-up engagement. Against Stim Bio. He has Blink Stalkers, but they are good in dragging out the fight. HerO really needs some units. He has force fields, but he needs more than just that. Could have saved that Stalker.
Yeah, he's being very annoying. Widow Mine grabs 2 kills. Boom. And immediately, Photon Cannon being warped in. He's pulling his army over.
HerO has to be very careful right now. This is a very dangerous moment, because in a straight-up engagement, his army has absolutely no shot against the army of Polt. Charge is not ready yet, +1 armor is not yet ready yet. Like, he has no DPS in his army at all, while this Terran army does have a lot of DPS.
It's not a fun spot to be in, but I still think, like, I mean, HerO has a lot of stuff going in his way, but Polt having the 3rd base planted down too is really, really nice. I like that HerO actually has, like, the Stalker right next to the 3rd as well.
Still running around with these Stalker hit squads, perhaps trying to intercept the Metavac, which is preventing any map vision that Polt could potentially have. This Nexus is a little bit exposed. The Nexus sniping season has perhaps opened. That one Stalker kind of scares Polt over there, if he only knew. I think there was a realistic opportunity there to snipe that Nexus. Oh, HerO wants to really get a Metavac.
Pops the Guardian Shield. Like, that's... How much is too much, Roddy?
Unless that Marine had a golden gun, then I think he didn't have too much to worry about.
Oh, he's trying to sandwich this. He wants to use the Stalkers to bully this army away and then catch him with the Zealots on the other side. Yep. If he can get him to lift up and then kill everything, that's nice. But
kind of backfires.
Whoa, that's a lot to lose.
That kind of backfired. A couple of Stalkers going down, and Stalkers are still pretty expensive units in this phase in the game. Like Flo mentioned, or at least showed us, the War Prism is out for HerO. That's where he starts truly having fun. It's pretty much the reason why he plays Protoss, I think.
Yeah, well,
Picks
I mean,
up 2 Zealots.
those Warp Prisms.
Oh, 2 Zealots and an Archon.
Yeah, these Warp Prisms are really, really annoying, man. It's
Scan
an endless amount of pain can come out of them.
The scan was just a fraction too late there. Didn't see the Archon, didn't see the War Prism, but
This
there are
is
2
smart.
Vikings patrolling on the right side of the map.
Yeah, the
Here as an observer
sees.
in position as well. This I'm still a little bit worried though, because without Storm or Colossus, if you take like a slightly bad engagement, everything of your Protoss army is just going to die immediately.
Everything.
It will melt, Nate.
Yeah.
Like a snowman in the Sahara Desert.
Still doesn't. Well, I mean, I'd be impressed how he got there in the first place, but
Well, that's how
that
I wonder.
doesn't sound pleasant at all.
That's how I feel my Zealots are, Nate. They wonder too why they were put in that place.
He catches the Warp Prism. Dat Archon. Is he? Oh! Oh! Nope! Oh! Okay.
And Polt is like, hey, an Archon. Might get a reactor. That's pretty much the best thing that HerO could hope for. If he just focuses down the reactor, yeah, he's gonna get
That's
it.
a big pickup, man.
Yeah, there's a second
actually-
starport, so it doesn't
Yeah,
change that much.
but
But
with the reactor, his Archon's like,
I mean, it's better than nothing.
it's I think that's the only.
What's going on over here? It's like highway patrol. It's like, all right, spotted 2 Zealots, refuse to pull over. If only Medevac had sirens, Nate.
If only. I mean,
The true colors
There
of
are
freedom
lights.
show up in your mirrors.
they have little blinking lights when they're healing stuff.
Man, a crazy amount of gateways for HerO. He's really playing this old school. Hallucinated a bunch of Colossus as well. That's kind of cute, because if Polt would somehow see this, he's like, hey, I need more Vikings. He already has a few more Vikings than you normally need. Of course, HerO would love to make Polt think that he needs more than those 5 or 6, but it seems like Polt is aware of what's going on. He has 5 5 ghosts in
He's
production.
got a big army on the right and 4 medevacs on the left. HerO's probe sees the medevacs.
Yeah, this is a scary moment. HerO does have a lot of gateways, and gateways in general make defending against drops a little easier, but okay. Man, that anti-drop squad looked very intimidating to Polt.
You don't want to drop into Storms and feedback with that many stalkers there. Storm's going to try to push this army away.
Yeah, gets 3 or 4 Marauders.
Yeah,
Pretty okay
this
defensive
Terran
Storm.
army isn't bad. It's not enough of it to actually fight against all that HerO has to defend.
With those 5 or 6 ghosts, I would say it's possible, but without them, absolutely no way. Look at that, 5 more ghosts in production. Polt is producing a crazy amount of ghosts
and
at once.
he's getting personal cloaking.
And
He's
after
killed the
these 5 ghosts
observers.
are done, he has 10 ghosts, Nate. At the 17-minute mark, that's intimidating.
It's a tough army to beat, considering that he already has 8 Vikings on the map before even a single Colossus pops out.
Yep. Dark Shrine is going down now for HerO. He has the Robotics Bay finished up. He could potentially go. Nice Storm there, connecting with a few of these Marines. And above all, keeps the War Prism alive. Well done.
And HerO's taking this 4th base on the left. The Terran army is pretty close. Needs to be careful. Upgrade-wise, +3 armor is on the way for HerO, and +2 attack. Polt has his 3/3 coming in.
I would really love to see HerO get a second robotics facility. Oh, a lot of mules being called down there. A couple of force was going down as well, but HerO doesn't have too many units over here. Maybe the War Prism can add the reinforcement that he needs. He really can't afford to lose those Immortals. Those are expensive units and hard-hitting units as well. Like, HerO could really use a second robotics facility, Nate.
Yeah, HerO's counterattack on this 3rd base I'm really liking, though. Picks off the Observer.
I
There is a
mean-
cannon at that 3rd base, but these Zealots are going ham on the 3rd base of Polt now.
4th base is immediately cancelled though. There's no way, good judgment call there by HerO. There's no way you can fight against those. Look at all these ghosts. That is so scary.
Yeah, Photon Overcharge is activated.
If HerO can only make Polt look away one time and then just drop a couple of feedbacks, then that changes everything. It all
Yeah.
comes down to, is he able to distract Polt enough?
These Zealots are doing a lot of work. He's actually just killing Polt's army and all these workers. And the Warp Prism in the natural, going straight for that Ghost Academy. Well,
There's a missile turret there, but if the missile turret gets picked off, then these Dark Templars are
these
going to be
DTs.
extremely frustrating to
These
deal with.
DTs are slaughtering the
Wow.
mineral line in this natural. He's already killed off the 3rd base mineral line.
Man.
The 4th is like the only mining base now for Polt.
Yep, scan will go down, but one DT makes it into the main,
the
and that's going to
DTs
be
have spread
annoying
out.
enough.
They've all spread out,
Oh,
man.
the ghost! Okay, there's an observer, no, but the planetary might die. No, it's not going
Yeah,
to die.
there is an observer there. It's just the planetary has a nice meat shield.
Like, this is so frustrating though for Polt. It's gonna take him forever to actually take care of all these Dark Templars. True. Oh, Bedroka. Bedroka fell asleep.
I was gonna say this. Yeah, well, he is. You know, he's like our Spanish commentator, right?
Is he? I thought he was part of Take TV, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm confusing him. Anyways, just going to have to wait a few seconds. Alright, the game has continued. As Polt is like, whoa, the game is live. There's Dark Templar in my main. Scan will go down. He cleans up the last remaining zealots. War Prison's being really frustrating though. HerO's going to try to rain down a couple of storms once more. Man, HerO is playing so good today, Nate. I haven't seen this in more than half a year of HerO.
Yeah, I haven't been this impressed by HerO's play in quite a bit of time. This is some sexy PvT, dude.
It's old school HerO. He's back. We were wondering what is the HerO that dropped out in the round of 32 done to the HerO that we all know and love. Apparently, HerO has won the battle against his his doppelganger.
Yeah, this has been some sick.
He's everywhere. HerO is just everywhere. He could land storms as well if he would try to if Polt would have tried to repair that planetary, but no. So he just snipes that planetary fortress like that. He's going to drop some storms on these Vikings, the SCVs. One more. No. HerO's like one more. Give me energy. He pulled a full Goku there.
DT's still alive.
DT already having a field day. Ooh, that's dangerous. That DT has +3 armor, Polt.
Yeah, your workers aren't going to kill that.
That DT has a lot of armor. It doesn't really die. Wow.
Jeez.
HerO is just picking Polt apart.
This is a nightmare scenario for Terran. He's bought a lot of fancy moves. Polt's going to just try to go for it. This is pretty much it, man. This is it.
Yeah, Polt has to win with the army that he currently... This is still a very seasonable army, though. Like, this is not an army to be underestimated, and HerO knows that. He cannot take a bad fight, because if he does that, he will still lose. If EMPs rain down over that Protoss army, and the Vikings get a couple of good free shots off on the Colossus, it can still go Polt's way. It will all come down to this battle. Polt has to win right here and right now. Those EMPs were big, Nate.
Yeah, the Ghosts have cloaked. He does still have that cannon on the other side, and in the mineral line, the storm's
that's a good
nice.
storm.
Getting Vikings and Ghosts alike. EMP on some of these Immortals. No more storms that I can see with this army, but that bio has really been thinned out, and DTs show up too.
Then he probably has a couple of defensive High Templars somewhere, right? He still has plenty of bases to work with as well.
Well, there's no more detection.
No, he can
but
actually
the Ghosts
start...
are out of energy. So.
Yeah, he can start killing the orbitals. Soon there will only be one orbital remaining for Polt. And he needs to fly it away, because if it dies, he doesn't have any scans anymore. I think this is HerO's game. Even when he's down in army supply right now, he has mining bases. The last Colossus will fall. He doesn't have to take this fight yet. Ooh, I didn't like that. He didn't have to do that. There's nothing to fight for in that natural.
And this... Oh, what a crazy intense situation. Polt.
How many orbitals are remaining now? It's just... No, kill the orbital, HerO.
There are 2 orbital commands on the map. He has his natural still. Polt. He's held on to that.
Storm, lots of Storm. Man, those guys should have tried to flank that army before. Storms are at least dealing some damage.
HerO just going to hold out on this right side base. His left side base is done too, so he's just going to keep bouncing between them with the power of these DTs. I feel like he's going to eventually whittle down Polt no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. This should still be HerO's game, but he's still down 18 army supply. He can still throw it with a bad engagement. Polt has stabilized. He actually saved one of his orbitals. That really shouldn't have happened. One of them should have died. This is a base that HerO cannot afford to lose, though. If he loses this base, Nate, then HerO might still lose the game. Feedbacks are a couple of the goals. He needs to defend this base.
Oh, the storms are so good. Templars coming
Templar.
from behind.
Oh, beautiful.
Hitting the entire army of Polt. And that's... He just doesn't have anything left to fight this. His Vikings were killed, so that Colossus can reign free. The Ghosts are cloaked, though, and the damage is real, but they don't have an infinite amount of energy. No, not yet.
Now there are a bunch of invisible units fighting each other. And like, well, this is awkward. I want to kill you, but I can't see you, and the Ghost is feeling the way. The Ghost could EMP theoretically, though.
What a sick game. The army supply still barely favors Polt, but HerO he has income.
Yeah, but like Polt can of course always fly over those orbitals, and he has 13 SCVs. That's not a lot, but 13 SCVs and a double mule.
But when you know what, if HerO is in the game and has a Dark Templar and a War Prism, I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, he has one.
It's a recipe for disaster. He's gonna get in and kill a few more SCVs. He can go for add-ons. I mean, I guess Polt can't really afford to use his add-ons anyway, but.
Yeah, exactly. Polt's not really in a position where he's like, let's build 5 more Ghosts. Like, no, those days are over. That was the golden age of the Terran game. Oh, that Colossus is a little bit exposed, right? Let's take a look. I believe the Colossus was in front of the army. Now there are plenty of Zealots.
The Ghost is cloaked. There's an Observer. Night. And that,
Polt
I
needs to
think
pick up these
that's-
units and drop them to the low ground to see if he can do something.
That's
but
a decisive victory
Yeah.
right there for HerO, that fight.
Yep.
I'm really impressed. He's poised to go 2-0 now. He has a mining base that actually
Yeah,
has resources.
Yep, 91 supply against 46.
He's mining 2 bases.
Where are these zealots coming from, Nate? I don't understand. Oh,
That
okay.
Warp Prism draw. That Warp Prism's the real MVP.
I was like, this doesn't make any sense. They just keep showing up.
He's trying to fly the factory and knock over the Colossus. Bold strategy.
Let's see how this will play out. Final drop for Polt. Unfortunately for Polt, there's nothing dropping the natural. He will be able to drop this base, and this is a very exposed one. Most of the pros units out of position. HerO could theoretically wipe in a couple of units, but that's not going to save this. So this is an okay move for Polt. This is going to throw HerO back to a one base Protoss as well. But right now, HerO's army is just so much stronger than the army of Polt. But of course, Polt is a master in forcing out weird draws as well. So HerO has to make sure that he stays very patient. Make sure that he never finds himself without a mining base. Ooh,
Oh,
pick him up.
that's a big play right
him up.
there. Oh, just keep in mind those stalkers are also a very real threat. Whoa.
Whoa.
Here it is.
Hey.
He's
Colossus.
testing the lasers. Like, all right, I gotta preheat the oven right here.
The poor pro is probably wondering, like, hey, what did I do?
I mean, if Polt kills his...
That's like Polt is a master in forcing out draws he doesn't deserve.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah.
And these DTs, as
And
nice,
that's a
cool as
compliment.
they are very expensive.
Yep, one more Dark Templar is going to kill the last remaining SCVs that Polt has. Of course, soon the Orbitor is in a very tricky position as well.
Oh,
Polt-
the Warp Prism, he finally kills it. Is Polt? No. No, Ronnie.
I mean, like, HerO's
Just
army...
defend your one neck, defend your nexuses.
Exactly.
Your nexi, whatever.
Those big buildings you can cast Photon Overcharge on. Talking
Polt-
about Photon Overcharge, why don't we have a Mothership Coordinate? It seems very useful in this phase in the game.
Yeah.
When there's like 2 Medavacs out on the map, one Photon Overcharge can change a lot.
Whether it's the first 10 minutes or the final 30 minutes,
Yeah.
if there's not a lot of units.
Okay, close.
Oh!
One Stalker!
That was...
That was hashtag the dream. Oh.
It could still be, man.
Oh.
Haven't we seen it before?
No! Like I say, Nate, Ray Allen the Stalker.
Oh my
He still
God.
got it.
That medevac
Yeah.
is uncomfortable.
Polt with 44 army supply against 78 of HerO. This should not be possible anymore. And like you said, all that HerO had to do was just defend those mining bases. And so far he has done a good enough job in doing that. I love how HerO like really tries to keep control of the Zelnaga Watchtower as well, because he knows he cannot afford to lose that base.
I mean, Polt's actually putting together an army again, so that's the real
But the-
scary
the
part. But
Colossus,
if HerO
though.
kills the medevacs, then he has
Okay, that's a really
longevity.
awkward engagement. The Zealots are of course very well upgraded. So far Polt is just standing there. Now he has to pick up though, but there are plenty of Stalkers that could play forward, and that's going to be it.
HerO takes game number 2, keeping his BlizzCon hopes alive, and now he's looking poised to sweep this final series of the day.
HerO looks really, really good and strong against Terran today, and there is a scenario possible where HerO could play Terrans all the way to the end, all the way to BlizzCon. Because if he would make it past Polt, he's going to play against Bomber in the semifinals. If he would somehow win that too, he's going to play against either Hyun or Hart, but we know how good Hart is in TVC. Jaedong is right now is like, guys, this is not funny.
He's like, you know, I heard Polt was good at killing those Nexus buildings. Why didn't he kill them all? Why wasn't there a draw? Come on, guys, don't mess with me.
Wow, HerO looking incredibly good so far. I am blown away. The next map is going to be Nimbus, and Nimbus is such a large map with an in-base expand. Of course, it's a really good map for Terran drops as well, and we can never underestimate Polt. Yeah, he truly is a comeback king as well. It's a little cliche, but it's true. He has made so many comebacks in his career. But against this HerO, the way that he's playing PvT right now, he's making fun of everything we have seen in the previous months of how you're supposed to play PvT.
Yeah, it's just been smooth, sexy play from HerO. The Warp Prisms have been everywhere. He's been hitting his Storm drops. He's been getting those Archons, especially those Dark Templar. Once he gets comfortable enough with that third base and there's DTs flying around, he's everywhere.
Yeah. Like, even in a certain moment where it's like, man, Polt is gathering all of his forces. If I was HerO right now, I'd be really worried. But those 10 ghosts, there were enough Vikings to deal with the 1 or 2 Colossus that were out. But HerO is just like, no, best defense is offense. And he's like, sends those Zealots out, the third base starts dropping in the main. Suddenly has Dark Templars running around as well. It's been a joy to watch HerO play in those last 2 games. It really doesn't get much better than that in PvT.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how Polt changes it up, if at all. Because the first game, you have the weird build. The second game, Polt's the one that goes on the aggressive, and his build is just kind of naturally countered by the way that HerO opened with the Blink Stalkers, so you don't really have an opportunity to make a Hellion play like that work. But for game 3, I feel like Polt, you got to break out like the most standard build possible. And on Nimbus, it's very doable. It's just now you have to climb out of an 0-2 deficit.
Yep. It's a difficult map to start on for sure, but like we said, Polt is capable of making comebacks. Just want to let you guys know that HerO requested a small break, as both games were probably pretty intense to play. Like HerO, I would have loved to see his first-person view, man. Like he must have been everywhere. Like it's just like they often switch wherever they are looking at the map so quickly that you don't even see really the commands that they give. Like if you're just watching from the observer mode, it's like, oh yeah, obviously like he's wiping in some units here, but then if you watch them first person, it's just like, I didn't even see where he clicked on the screen. It's like, what is he doing? HerO, of course, a very fast multitasker, but needs a couple of minutes. That's no big deal for us, as we've been having fun, and you know, we'll make it through the break. Are you guys having fun?
It seems so, Roddy. It seems so. Of course, big thanks to all people coming out as we're getting closer towards nice evening here in Burbank, California. It's always nice. We have a sold-out crowd. Hopefully, a lot of you guys are coming back tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going over a couple of the tweets as well, guys. I know it's been a long day of StarCraft 2, but if you have some tweeting power within you, give us your tweets, hashtag WCS, or even hashtag Road to BlizzCon. As that tweet is that hashtag has been popping up more and more, and I'm kind of digging it because the Road to BlizzCon has truly started. Of course, started a long time ago, but I feel the end is in sight.
I mean, this is the last little path that takes you there for HerO. And everybody else already has their flight. They're pretty much, okay, yeah, when am I showing up? Maybe my seating changes, but I'm going to be there. And it's only HerO and Jaedong on the cutting block.
I got a lot of tweets from all the Europeans since we were talking a little bit about the European time zone. So big shout out. I got people from the UK tweeting me, from Sweden once more, Belgium, France, Portugal again. So overall, big shout out to all of you guys. If any countries didn't name yet, keep those tweets coming.
I got one from Greece, man.
From Greece, that's awesome. There used
That's
to be
a little bit closer on the eastern side. It's quite late there.
Yes, that's awesome. Who's the best Greece StarCraft 2 player right now? I wouldn't know.
Have no idea.
There was one who was actually doing okay in the early stages of Wings of Liberty. I've got his name. In Warcraft 3, there were a couple of good ones. For the real old school Warcraft 3 fans out there, was a guy called Vancor. He was very good. He went to a couple of tournaments. I liked him. He was a funny guy. Now you know.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Warcraft 3 knowledge. Nate loves it. He's learning. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that we don't have any Letot tweets. I would encourage all of you to tweet at Letot and say that we miss his tweets.
You know, what if he wasn't even watching?
I can't imagine that.
With all these Protoss here, you'd think I'd have at least a couple of tweets from him asking me how I feel about the balance of Terran after that Bomber Pig Baby series. But then he would have stopped during this one.
All right, so of course we should give a shout out to all the Americans that have been tuning in today as well. HerO's biggest fan, Gemini, he often comments on Reddit. He's watching from New Jersey. I know that he's cheering his heart out for HerO. A couple of funny tweets as well. Someone tweeted at me, he's like, "Go HerO! All your fangirls are cheering for you." That's an inspiring tweet. Like, I'd play my heart out for that one, Nate.
Yeah. And I just got another one. The Norwegians are up and watching as well. Everybody's hyped.
South America, people from Argentina tuning in. It's so cool to see all these StarCraft 2 fans around the world still enjoying WCS America. Of course, next year it's going to be different. We're going to have a very different setup within WCS. It's going to be, I think, evenly awesome, maybe even more awesome. But this weekend, we were very hyped for it. We were both pumped. You look at the matchups, and it was really hard to call any of them for sure. So far, you could say, like, all right, the first 2 series, no major upsets in those. But other than that, Bomber getting his revenge on Pig Baby. Not really an upset, but still, last time he lost, this time he won. And those games were very entertaining. But this series so far is definitely playing out a little different than I think a lot of people predicted. I read comments on the internet saying, like, HerO doesn't really have a chance. HerO is going to get ruffle stomped. Some people are already saying, like, congratulations, Jaedong. It's like, well, Well,
Yo, man, I'm just like playing louder games like streaming people. Like, Nathan, who do you think's gonna advance in WCS America? I'm like, well, Polt is Terran versus Protoss God, so I would give him all my faith. But this dude has upset probably a lot of nerds out there that think Terran is pretty good right now versus Protoss because he's been playing phenomenally well in this series. Of course, he's our blue Protoss who deserves your cheers. He wants to go on the road to BlizzCon. Representing Team Liquid, he is HerO. Still has a few very difficult opponents to get through though, Roddy, if he wants to make it, let alone having to finish this series against Polt.
yep. Well, there you go, guys. That was Polt. Great introduction, Nick. Kidding, guys. But we'll do it properly. We'll do it properly. Over here on the right bottom side of the map, representing Coolum as the Storm, it is Polt.
Can you tell I woke up at 4 today, Roddy?
It's all good. I woke up at 7:30 as well, and I'm not sure why.
The beautiful thing about StarCraft is that you can wake up at 4 a.m. Pacific time and watch Marine King play versus Myung-Sik. And watch some sick StarCraft. There's always some StarCraft on to watch.
But it doesn't get much better than this, though. HerO, of course, spawning in the left bottom side of the map. Normally, like, I don't like to watch or go into spawning locations too much, because often I feel it just depends on how you play. But this is nice. On this map, it does matter. Because just look at the expand of Polt. That is nice for HerO. HerO can fly his Warp Prisms in this over and over again, and he can just start, storm dropping again, be annoying with Zealots. If Polt wants to drop the natural of the Protoss, he has to go all the way around to fly in via the north side, if he wants that, of course. And he could also just fly straight into the main, but that's easy to defend. So I really like these spawning locations for HerO.
Yeah, it makes it very easy for him to get aggressive, either with an early Stargate play or with that Warp Prism. I like this tweet. Polt unzipped the jacket. He's gone means business now.
Of course, once upon a time, the legend of MMA, the Into Extreme Masters in Kiev 2011. Sometimes he dropped the map, but then he put on his Slayer's jacket, and it just gave him superpowers, Nate. He did not drop a map throughout the entire tournament when he was wearing the jacket. Sometimes he put the jacket off, then he lost the map. I really think he just did it for our entertainment. That's how much of a god MMA is.
If I swept every single series, people might get bored, you know.
Well, people might buy these jackets and play better StarCraft. So I'm gonna pretend that it's not the jacket. 3 Rex opening over here. I believe that the probe saw all 3 Rexes for yes. HerO saw all 3 of them. That's really nice. It's one of these small things, but as a Protoss player, I can guarantee you, Nate, if you know for sure whether it's a 1 Rex or a 2 Rex or a 3 Rex, it really changes your outlook on this game. It's going to make you a little bit more comfortable or uncomfortable, depends on what you scout, but at least you can prepare for it, and you can spend that extra Corona boost on either Warp Gate technology or your Nexus, depending on what you scout. In this situation, HerO knows, like, alright, I can't go too crazy, because if I go like Stargate into a Robo, into a Forge, into a Twilight, and I have no units, there's a good chance I will just die against this 3 Rex, like what we saw earlier today between Big Baby and Bomber. So it's a small scout, but it's still very useful information.
Yeah, being able to know what your opponent's up to on maps like this, where those drop plays have so many different angles they can attack from, especially, it's just that extra little bit of comfort that tells you don't need to chrono out an extra Stalker, or if you're a Terran player, get that bunker early on. So in a game of StarCraft 2, every little edge you can cut is nice. Unless you're Bomber, then you just cut all the edges anyway.
And still do really well. The robotics facility was the tech of choice for HerO. So that's very basic. Might open up with a bunch of observers. Might go a little Pig Baby style over here. I really like it on this map because observers are king on a large map like Nimbus. Having vision is really going to help you because Polt is still going to try to drop you. But on a certain point, if he tries to drop you 3 or 4 times and doesn't do any damage, then as a Protoss you will have stabilized and you made it to that phase where you have your +2 armor, your charge, your blink, your Colossus, and you can start working towards Storm. And let's just be honest, Nate, life is more beautiful when you have Storm.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, man? Those like 3 or 4 times I actually made it long enough in the game to get it versus Terran when I was playing Protoss, I really liked it too. So.
Oh, well, this is a little bit uncommon and unorthodox. He opened up with the robotics facility, despite scouting the 3 Rex, so that was, a well thought out choice. And then he adds in a Stargate, an interesting phase in the game.
Hey, that Oracle on Catalina, worker kills or not, did a lot of work for scouting.
But that Oracle was still a lot quicker, because that Stargate was before the robotics facility.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that.
Did he just cancel a reactor in... What was his second tech lab? Oh.
It happened.
Alright. It's just like, I'm gonna cancel my reactor to make another reactor. The other one is better, Nate. Good scan there by Polt, but he misses the Stargate, and after seeing that quick robotics facility,
if you see the Robo as a Terran player,
you really don't expect it.
Yeah, this happened. This has happened to me more than a few times because you see this like this is the most standard setup possible. You move those Marines out of your mineral line, you like walk out of the map because you're Polt, and you're like, I'm just gonna stim into his base. He photon overcharges force field, and then an Oracle flies and he kills half your SCVs, and you're like, well, now I hate life.
He still left a couple of Marines behind, but there is a good chance indeed that he will put them away in just a few seconds. Like you said, there is really no need for Polt normally to have these Marines in that mineral line. So the fact that he keeps them there just shows what a class act he really is.
A lot of discipline.
Yeah, HerO is probably like a little bit upset. He's like, hey man, what are those Marines doing there? How good are you in this game? You really don't need them.
Yeah, it's like, come on, you don't
Send
need
them
those
out.
Marines there.
You want to have your Marines out on the map.
Don't you want a few extra Marines to shoot at me when I force field you out of my third?
There is nothing in the main, and I think HerO has pretty much seen that. The Oracle is making his way. Oh, it's double Oracle! Oh my god, the Bay train! The Marines are gone as well! A lot of SVs are going to die. Polt probably so confused right now.
Oh god, you know, I think the observer saw the units move down that ramp, and he knew, he's like, now it's time. As long as you can keep one around to play with.
Phoenix is going to be the follow-up.
That was sexy.
Yeah, 8 SCVs is good, but I think he hoped for a little more. 2 Oracles is a pretty big investment. He's getting Phoenix and Colossus. Do you think he's pulling a gym over here? He's just going to go full Phoenix Colossus?
This is one of the maps where it was actually used quite a bit. I remember when
Oracle!
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Okay, now I'm a little worried. This third base shouldn't really be defendable.
Polt so far really on the money in this game, also scouting this immediately. Well, he has a Colossus. With a Colossus and a few Zealots, you don't think he... No, okay,
I think he should be able to squash this.
Yep. Stalker, well, no concussive shells yet, so it will be able to run for now. Oh, that's scary, Nate.
I'm coming for you.
That's what Protoss nightmares are made of.
Yeah, being chased by Synthbio is not the best thing to dream about.
Phoenixes are here. HerO's he has to be so careful though. He really can't afford to lose these expensive air units.
The thing is, he sees the Phoenix too though now, so it gives him that little bit of extra information. He didn't know about the Phoenix until it was way too late when he played him on Catalina.
Yeah, that's true.
Polt's
so
in
far
a much better position than he has been in the last 2 games.
Everything going right so far for Polt. He lost 8 SCVs, but he picked off both Oracles, and now he also saw the Phoenix, and he got a cancel on that base. That's pretty much all that you could hope for. He's already up in supply. Take a look at the worker count. They're dead even now, 50 on either side. That is always a good scenario for the Terran, especially if you have that third orbital already up and running. Yeah, this looks dicey.
This next army. Thing is, Colossi are great. Yeah,
you have to be careful though. Like, if you can take a bad fight against this composition.
Fit your whole army under the 2 Colossi you have, you don't have enough gateway units to stop big bio pushes like this.
No, yeah, he has a couple of force fields. Scan goes down. Polt's gonna try to snipe this Nexus once more. Maybe it's finally hunting season over here, Nate, as that is cancel number 2. And that is a very unfortunate. Of course, HerO had those units in his main because he's worried about drops. Drops are so popular on Nimbus, but when you expect them, Nate, they just come by ground.
And Polt has been happily mining away on this third.
That's a pretty epic battle.
Yeah, he's like, trade my life for your shields.
It's like, hey, I heard what you did to my friend. And that Stalker lived a very unhappy life. Phoenix is going to try to intercept a couple of reinforcements, but it's hard to pull that off. There's nothing really going HerO's way. The only thing he could hope for is that Polt goes impatient and takes a very bad fight, but it picks up another Phoenix as well. Oh man, if you take a look at the units lost resource tab, 1500 resources lost for HerO against only 500 lost for Polt, and Polt has been outmining HerO. This is a disaster scenario if you play Protoss.
That jacket unzip, man. Power is real. There's Warp Prism is on the map though. That's HerO's his spirit animal trying to claw him back into this game, but still.
I think the first push is going to be too much to deal with. I like the transition into Storm because that is pretty much the only way that HerO can claw his way back into this game. If he just sits back and he makes Phoenixes and Colossus, he's going to be outmassed by Polt. Polt will produce way more Vikings, and Polt is still unaware of this. Nate, look, he's still producing 4 Vikings at a time. So if Polt gives HerO, let's say, 2.5 minutes from now on, he's going to face 5, 6, 7 High Templars with Storm. I'm not sure if Polt is going to give him that time, but that Warp Prism is at least one way to buy time. It's still alive as well. I like this transition a lot by HerO. That's by far and away the best choice he could have made.
Polt has quite a few units on the
Yeah.
map
Ooh.
looking around in that northwest area.
Northwest.
The storm is almost
Are
done.
you a fan, Nate?
Sometimes. Oh, more Prism dies, manages to get a few zealots in, and these
Oh, the
Vikings land.
Vikings.
They're like, yeah, you got a choke point.
Still kind of nice though, taking out these missile turrets is annoying. And above, oh, like HerO is keeping Polt on his side of the map. Polt is okay, Polt had enough of it. He's like, no, I'm not falling for this. You're probably buying time for something, right? Well, indeed, first High Templars have been wiped in. Medevacs are a little late to the party. Ooh, okay. They took a kind of a detour.
Yeah.
I don't think HerO has enough Storm now. He's down quite a bit in army supply. There are 6 High Templars. Actually, that might be playable.
And the main army has no medevacs, so it's already kind of hurt itself.
Oh, I like that. Fake Colossus as well. Photon Overcharge being casted. The Mothership Core will, of course, go down. Look at the... Oh my god, there are just bio units everywhere.
Yeah, the bio all over the natural.
The
At
Vikings-
this point, yeah, land the Vikings, have that army at the third base at the same time, and you're really pulling HerO in a bunch of different directions at once.
Okay, if you lose all the Vikings, let's not forget there are still 2 Colossus as well. The Storms are pretty good.
Oh, God.
He's losing all of the Vikings. Of course, he does so much damage. I guess it's okay for Polt, but there are still 2 Colossus alive. HerO needs to save them, but he can't.
Not bad. He does have Thermal Lance, but that Colossus is still too close to that army.
And HerO lost so many probes there. Only 39 probes remaining.
He killed a huge amount of army supply Polt, but you lose that natural.
He lost the base and he lost a lot of his probes. If he wouldn't have lost the probes, then there's like, okay, HerO can sort of work with that. Just rebuild the Nexus, and I think now HerO is kind of going for a
like,
desperation
I gotta go for
attack.
it, man. I'm just gonna hope you don't have any ghosts out. Polt guilds 2
Ghost
ghost
Academies.
He's like, I really need ghosts.
Yeah, he thinks he's playing human in Warcraft 3. Or Red Alert, you know, when you build multiple factories at once and you get stuff quicker. But I think Polt will be more than fine. HerO can't possibly attack up the ramp. Polt's gonna try to snipe this Nexus as well. That would be Nexus number 4 in this game. Polt has to be a tiny bit careful. There are Phoenixes as well. Phoenix is gonna try to chase
this
down.
complicates
Oh my
things.
god.
He's in
HerO,
the
no
mineral
way.
line. HerO's killing Polt's mineral line at the third base. He's forced him to go into this.
This is not supposed to
empty
happen anymore,
space.
Nate. These Zealots are doing a lot of work,
This
being
supply
really
is
annoying.
much closer than it should be when you look at this game 2 minutes ago.
Yep. There is, of course, a 4th command center as well. Like, don't get me wrong, I still really, really love Polt's positioning. Phoenixes!
Oh, another
Get
medevac
one.
picked off.
Okay.
Well, if HerO was to mount a comeback in this map,
He's not
this is how
building
you
probes,
do it.
though. HerO's just not building any probes. I love how that one probe is trying to prevent the command center from landing.
Yeah, the problem is
He's
Polt
like-
will still have still has all that cash money. That income.
he had big dreams, Nate, but he was in the wrong place in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay, HerO is going to
He
try to kill this
he
command
can't
center.
deny this though. This army from Polt that he has out here.
Yeah, but
is
Polt has a
pretty
lot of
pathetic
units spread
compared to
over the
his
map.
force.
Polt doesn't have everything over here, though, and he doesn't have Ghost yet.
Yeah.
So,
he can't actually fight this army.
Yeah, Archons? Yeah,
the
Archon's gonna
Archons
kill
and
this
Storm.
command center. Of course, that drop is still active on the left side of the map.
Oh, the Colossus get hit. Oh, your anti-airs in the back. Oh, HerO. That actually, yeah, that can do it right
Drop.
there. And that drop.
Feedbacks, okay, feedbacks with Zealots and an Archon and a few Phoenixes. Should be enough, yeah, this should be enough for HerO to take care of this. Of course, Polt did okay over here. He saved his 4th command center and he picked up the Colossus.
Yeah, now it's just that extra base paying for itself because Polt, even though he's been trading not the greatest, he has a lot of income.
Man, that turned out a pretty epic fight. Only the Zealot lived to tell the tale. Polt is gonna try to retake the base at 3 o'clock instead. Still a lot of Vikings. Makes it really hard for HerO to go into Colossus right now as he doesn't have double robo. And HerO has just not been producing probes for a very long amount of time. He is building 2 at a time right now. His next is about to finish up. These Archons represent a lot of HP though. Of course there are Ghosts. EMPs are absolute game changers over here.
And now that there's EMP, I'm really concerned because
Yeah,
HerO
HerO
doesn't have an upgrade advantage. So these Storms have to win in the game.
So far they're okay. I'm not sure what's happening with the EMPs. I don't feel one of the Immortals lost his shields, but that's
I mean,
about
this
it.
is a +3 attack Terran player up against just +1 armor
Yeah.
from the Protoss. The Storms are the only things that can deal real damage
Does
to this
HerO
army.
even have a pylon or a War Prism over here? He has no reinforcement, so he can't stick around too long. Polt has plenty of that.
Yeah, I mean, HerO's stabilized back on 3 bases, but he doesn't have all the same number of probes like you said. 47 to 57, and Polt He's Planetary Fortress, that top right base. He's feeling super comfortable.
Look at that production. He's producing a lot of bio units at once. Keeping the Vikings at home for now, doesn't want to lose them just in case Colossus will start showing up once more. High Templar's going to try to land a couple of flanking storms. Of course, you know, Storm, Nate. As long as there's Storm, Protoss players believe.
And he's going to try to chase this army. And with the Phoenix, you know, he's saying you can't retreat as much, but another one of them dies.
Good snipes and EMPs there on the left top side of that
really
Nexus.
nice.
No storms from that side, and now Polt knows. All he has to worry about is this ramp. Lands a couple of EMPs as well on the Archon. I don't really like the start of this engagement for HerO.
He gets
but
one
he
at
does
Templar,
still,
though. There's not a lot of storm. Zealot Warpins on both sides.
Yeah, that's nice. He might actually have enough. I think Polt's going to pick up.
He's trading so much to make this work, though.
Yeah. Good pickups there by Polt. Is going to drop into the main base instead. Oh, sniping 3 or 4 High Templars over there. That's really expensive.
Yeah,
HerO
Polt
definitely doesn't have the economy to lose units like that.
Yeah, Polt playing a phenomenal game 3 here, saying I'm not going to go down 3-0, not that easily.
HerO fighting pretty impressive as well. He's fighting an uphill battle, and he's been hanging in there.
I mean, the comeback seemed real for a moment or two. I feel like Polt just has so much money coming in. Like, this army will eventually die, but then he's going to have a massive force outside. He's already amassed a huge army.
And there is
that is natural.
And there is nothing that these Protoss units, they're very strong if they're actually able to fight. But Polt is not forced to just sit there and fight in one position. He can just keep flying around.
He doesn't have to fight and let a mortal Archon attack him together.
No, he can just keep running away and keep picking up units, and it makes it really painful for HerO. As HerO's income is pretty much non-existent right now. He doesn't really have a bank. Only the best storms in the world will save him. But Polt, of course, not a player that's just going to let his army eat all the storms. Another drop as well in the natural. Polt really stepped it up this game, Nate.
Yeah, he's gone man mode for this match. And he's going to start to push his way slowly through this third base. His +3 upgrades are all done, like I said. +2 armor, not enough. Polt will take his first map in this quarterfinal. Yep. I mean, Polt is definitely the player that can bring it back. Of any of the players that have needed to make those comeback plays tonight, I do like Polt the most for coming back from behind is kind of Polt's thing too.
Yep. No, that is definitely true. And he just played a very solid game there on Nimbus. He did pretty much everything right from the get-go. Good scouting, picked up on what HerO was doing. Didn't really get him surprised too much. There was one moment where it almost started to look a little dicey, but this is just the moment where Polt truly secured his victory. This drop in the natural, that's a game-winning drop. There's absolutely nothing there. That's 4 Medivacs full of bio units, and all of HerO's forces were just out of position. I was a little bit worried with all the Vikings, because if he loses all of them and those 2 Colossus show up, things can get a little tricky, but he just had too much for HerO to deal with.
I mean, if one of these Colossi at that end part there doesn't get sniped, if you have those 2 Colossi and they can actually shave all the Marines out of that army, then not as many of them escape. Like, that's when you can start to make things happen, but still, really, it seemed like he had his chances, but Polt did a good job of hanging on to the lead that he was able to obtain.
Next map is a fun one, as it's one of the smaller maps in the current map pool. It is going to be played on merry-go-round, so Polt has his work cut out for him, Nate. He needs to win 2 more maps in a row against HerO. This is a map where I'm also expecting HerO to kind of open up with a Twilight, and he might actually commit a little bit more to aggressive plays than he did. It's been a really long day of StarCraft, Nate.
Yeah, it has.
Today I learned after casting 4 best of 5s I can't speak English anymore. But I'll try, it's a map where...
Dutch cast.
Yeah, we can try. There are at least 7 Dutch viewers right now that would really appreciate me casting in Dutch. It might be worth it. But this is a map that allows Protoss to be a little crazy as well, as it is a difficult map to go up to 3 bases, so why not think out of the box? I still kind of feel if he went on King Sejong Station, if he would have gone crazy, I think it would have been okay for him, because it really took a long time before Polt's production truly kicked in. Yeah,
he's thrown out some wonky builds, but the standard play worked for this guy in the last map, as he's looking to tie this series up. Our red Terran player spawning in the northwest position, representing Cooler Master Storm. He is Polt. The Nexus.
The Nexus Sniper. I like it, Nate. I dig it. And on the right top side of merry-go-round, representing Team Liquid and that beautiful horse, it is HerO.
definitely a series that, you know, as much as a lot of people like to cheer for Polt, even have the tweets coming in, the Nexus sniper is back.
Well, how many Nexus was it last game? 4 or 5?
Oh, we've canceled the third base.
Like twice?
What, twice. He killed the natural twice?
Yes, I think so.
I think so.
Second follow-up drop as well, and then he killed the third base again. So overall, 5 or 6 Nexus. That was definitely a Polt game. That was one of those games where you didn't... look at you getting some love for your creative...
Oh, shucks.
That was nice. Hero spirit.
You know,
animal.
you know, StarCraft players, I think we all have... It feels weird to say, but I feel like Polt's spirit animal would almost be a Nexus. You know, it's like... You summon your Patronus, a giant Nexus comes out, man.
You know what they're saying? Jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. Maybe Polt just really, really loves the Nexus. And he can't stand that somebody else has
I can't overcharge. You can't then either.
HerO scouts in the wrong direction at first, but of course his second try he will find Polt because this is a 3-player map. It was a command center first on the low ground. HerO, this is actually nice. If I was HerO, I would keep this probe on the low ground and start working on that SCV because that's really nice. It's very frustrating for Terran players.
Yeah, let that Zealot finish. And
HerO's
go
like,
ham.
I'm gonna hide my probe. No, wait, there's a command center.
It's like, yeah, okay. I
Okay,
mean,
so-
what can he really do with this? You think he finishes the Zealot? No, okay, he can't. He's not
No.
taking a chance.
Yeah, the Zealot doesn't do anything. By the time that the Zealot arrives, there are 2 Marines out, and these Marines, they will just like dance around your Zealots while shooting at them. It's very sad. The Zealot is just wishing he had charge. If only, Nate, we could have 4-minute charge.
At that point, then you know we've loaded up the wrong map. Because it's happened before.
I have the feeling that HerO wants to do something sneaky with this probe, and I think it is going to be... I think it's going to be Dark Templars.
I mean, you see...
It could be Stargate play as
There-
well, but I think Twilight play.
You know, there is one thing about the Command Center first builds that actually makes it incredibly vulnerable to Dark Templar play, is that the orbital commands are generally synced up because you
Yeah.
start them at the same time. So if you're going to drop mules, you drop them together, and then you don't have like that staggering where you have a scan available, and then you realize that you think if you drop a mule, you're like, well, I can't scan, but your next one is very close. But in this instance, that's not how it works.
Alrighty, Nate. So it's a Twilight console once more. It's just in his main base though, so we don't have to worry too much yet, but he could potentially use that probe later on as an offensive pylon where he could start warping in a bunch of Blink Stalkers. This Marine, however, is on a mission, and it's on a mission to find
Wow,
this...
how does he-
Oh, damn it. You know, if that would have been for a Dark Shrine, then HerO definitely wants to abandon that mission. But
Has everything that's been hidden in every single game that
Yeah.
we've seen today been found?
we need bigger maps, Nate.
Yeah. Where my Altazine bros at?
No, he lets it finish. Okay, that's interesting. Blink is being researched immediately, so far I was on the right track, and now it's the question, like, this is up to HerO. Does he want to be aggressive with this, or does he just use it in a defensive matter? Because Blink is, of course, great in just protecting your main base, sniping down either a medevac that wants to run in with a mine or a bunch of bio units, or later on maybe like Hellions running by. But you can, of course, chrono boost Blink, or spend a couple of chrono boosts on Blink, and be a lot more aggressive with it. Add a couple of additional gateways. Instead of going up to 3 gates, go up to 4 or 5 gateways. And if that's the case, well, then you can start having some fun as Protoss. But I don't. So far, it doesn't seem like HerO wants to go too crazy with this now.
With a third gas, it seems unlikely. You don't quite have as many minerals to throw into those very expensive stalkers. And
It's a 3-Rex opening as well, so it wouldn't really be the best choice ever to go nuts on the Blink Stalker play.
yeah, Polt's already building 2 Marauders at a time, so
Yep. No, that's
that in and of itself really slows his tech down, and he hasn't started a factory yet.
yeah. Like on King Sejong Station, it was a completely different ballgame because it was a 1-Rex into a factory, which slows the bio production down. This time, you definitely don't want to be aggressive with Blink Stalkers because he's producing a lot of bio units and even 2 Marauders at a time, which is interesting on its own because Stim and Combat Shield, Nate, are going to be done pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I was actually... I mean, with this many Marauders, it's not a terrible idea for Polt to even try going for a big shove after he pushes the Blink back. Because you just have so many hit points on your Marines, and with this many Marauders, you're going to wreck Stalkers. And yeah, he's actually stepping out now.
Oh, Blink is ready though, so HerO can run away. He's going to see this Marauder count. He's like, hey, that's pretty high. He gets a Marauder. Wow, good play there by HerO. Takes a little bit of
good
damage.
Blink. Good blink control
Oop.
from HerO.
Needs to keep paying attention though. There's no concussive shells, so that is the good thing.
Yeah, especially because no concussive shells. If you
Wow.
stim to try to attack
This is crazy though. HerO is just gonna let these units run across the map. He has 8 Blink Stalkers now. And he has the Mothership Core as well, so he could potentially recall. He really needs a couple of sentries at home though, because he doesn't have the DPS right now to fight this army.
He's changed his mind. He's
Okay.
headed home.
Yeah, but now the Mothership Core is sort of out of position. How many sentries does HerO... Oh god, I'm worried, Nate. There is so much DPS in this Terran army, and Blink Stalkers can't really fight.
Oh, that Mothership Core, huge deal. Polt's just gonna kill
my
it.
God.
Time Warp does
Oh my
nothing.
God. Okay, he
And
has
HerO,
sentries.
Yeah, he does have the
No.
sentries. He can force field away. Oh, he blinks into him to stim. Force fields are okay, but he loses
He's gonna
2
lose a
stalkers
lot.
straight up. And this...
He is going to lose a lot of
man.
units over here. This is bad news bear for HerO. Random desperation force field is going down, but the probes are being pulled, and a lot of probes are going to die.
Yeah, Polt targets down a few more sentries and kills
Ow.
12 probes. I don't think there's too much more you can ask for if you're Polt.
12 probes, a Mothership Core, a bunch of expensive stalkers, and a bunch of sentries as well. That went really well. Unfortunate for HerO there.
Yeah, Polt's gonna okay, get a missile turret at the front, make sure that that Twilight Council can't be used for, the win behind build.
I really wonder how this would have played out if HerO would have just like dropped force fields at his ramp and then sent all these Blink Stalkers into the...
I think he just realized like there's no way that he can defend his natural without all of his units, and he can't recall because then he doesn't have enough energy for post and overcharge.
That is not something you want to run into. Blink Stalkers are nice units, but not when there are a bunch of Marauders.
Okay, I do like this. He's trying to make the best of a bad situation, dropping these zealots in, and
even saving them for now.
this probe's like, look,
Probe
man,
harassing
look,
too.
man, I can't afford a lot of fighting units, so my workers need to do a little taser work too. Wow, he blocks the zealot. He's like, no, he's mine. Let me out.
Wow. Well, he definitely got an assist kill for that one.
Yeah.
The probe 0 kills, but definitely one assist.
I believe the proper term for that is kill-stealing noob.
The tech lab might actually burn down, and at least HerO's delaying this command center for a bit, so that allows him to catch up again economically, as he lost more than just a handful of probes, adding in more and more gateways, again going straight into the High Templars. It's interesting though, because he has 2 Colossus. Okay, 2 Colossus is a good count. Never mind. I didn't actually know he had 2 Colossus already. I'm surprised that during all this and the economic damage that he took, that he has 2 Colossus out.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. The Warp Prism will finally get shut down though, and then you have to still fight a Polt that has a massive army.
2 Marauders.
Yeah, look, 6 Stalkers running from 2 Marauders. You know HerO's played this game a lot.
Not worth it. I mean, I think he would have been able to take the 2 Marauders, just not the reinforcements. He's just gonna have to defend, but it's going to be hard for Polt to break a 2-base HerO over here, though, don't you think so? Especially with Storm on the way soon.
Yeah, I mean, once HerO tries to take the 3rd, though,
Yeah.
that's when the situation becomes...
That turret has to be hidden in the right bottom side of the map.
Yeah, that's not a terrible
No,
idea.
I don't really like this. There's so many Marauders.
Oh, you're out on
HerO!
the map. Okay, the hallucinated Colossus is nice. He kills it first, but can he defend the others? Oh, the force fields are pretty good too.
Yeah, but there's just no real meat in this army of Protoss. I mean, HerO made the best out of it.
His army needs
pick up
more
the Colossus.
protein.
Yo, no, the wrong one! Man, that's not a team player at all. As more Stalkers are being wiped in as well. He does pick up... No! Yeah, okay, wow. Wow!
That was adorable.
Oh, okay.
Wow, okay, so it makes the best of a bad situation, but he
Wow.
still loses the only units in his army that really matter.
That was impressive. That could have gone so much worse for HerO.
That was some sick micro.
But I mean, still, he lost his Colossus again. He lost his sentries as well. He lost all his
And
expensive guest units.
replacing those good units will take much longer than for Polt to just attack with what he has right now.
The only good news is that Polt does not know about this High Templar switch yet. And he should probably start producing Vikings again after he has these 2 additional medevacts. So maybe HerO can buy enough time until he finds himself in a situation with 6-7 High Templars. We'll have Charge Bolts as well, even though Charge is long ways off though. He just started it. But yeah, there you go. 2nd Starport and Vikings. On the money, man.
Yeah, Polt. I mean, he still has a nice enough lead that I'm not super concerned yet. If HerO can take one good fight and finish that 3rd base, then I really like his position, because the Storm is just... It's going to take a while before Polt can actually get his Ghost Academy, get Ghosts, period.
I totally agree. I, of course, dig Polt's position as well, don't get me wrong, but this is the best that HerO can do from where he's in. Like, if he just sits back and makes Colossus, he's going to die against overwhelming amount of Vikings. Polt will probably spot this real soon. HerO's going to... He doesn't have high ground vision there, Nate. I don't think he can blink into his main base.
Nope.
So these Stalkers are trapped for a while. This is really awkward. He needs high ground vision.
Yeah, this is a very uncomfortable spot to be in. He's going to go and kill a few probes. The Templar are coming. No need to watch out for the feedbacks. Gets
Okay,
the
the
forge.
Stalkers are going to try to intercept these medevacs, I think. They're still there. No.
Oh, but there's some bio here. Ooh,
Okay.
that's not a terrible storm.
He's down 40-50 supply though. Of course now Polt will immediately stop producing Vikings, will switch into the Ghost, kept those two medevacs alive as well. HerO just needs time, but Polt is so good. He's a master when it comes to keeping on the pressure. And I think especially on merry-go-round, it's extremely difficult for a Protoss to defend all 3 locations at once. Even if you have like 4 cannons in your main, you'll still get robbed.
The Ghost production has begun, Roddy. You said it, and that's... The clock is ticking. HerO has finished the 3rd base. He doesn't mind the gas off of it, though. He's just going to try to punt that straight into Zealots.
And it's not like he really has the upgrades going for
I mean,
himself
you only have +1 armor versus a +2 Tech Terran. Your Zealots will just die. They just melt. It's no contest. You can't fight against Marines with Zealots when you have an upgrade deficiency. You need the Storms.
There are a lot of bio units coming in from every single angle. It's really difficult to land Storms as well. Where are you going to land the Storm right now when the bio units are so well spread out? The Immortals, of course, if they get close to the Marauders, they will be able to do a lot of damage. But instead, they are the ones that are exposed. And Polt is picking HerO apart. Nate, I think slowly but steady we can start embracing ourselves for game number 5. The first one of the day, as Polt just has too much over here. Kills the pylon as well. Well done.
Fantastic play, and a Nexus is going to go down as he chases these probes away. Okay, just getting everything here. Up 100 supply. Polt will not go down without a fight. 2-2 is the score. Well, this final quarterfinal certainly seems to have been worth the hype.
Yep. Polt bringing it back, winning back-to-back games against a Liquid HerO that has been playing really good StarCraft today. But just a couple of things going wrong in that 3rd game, and in this 4th game, yeah, it's all the opening net. It's a 3-Rex opening. I really wonder what would have happened if HerO would have ran into that natural with his 8 Stalkers and then just like tried to kill a lot of SCVs and recall home after he dropped a couple of force fields. But I think he, like you said, I think he's just afraid that he would never have enough DPS to actually kill all these units.
Yeah, it's really sick because you have an army that's like, it's good when you can micro in the open field, but once you're forced to your own base like this, it doesn't matter how good your stalker micro is because Polt will just start to kill your probes. And, I guess pulling the probes kind of helps deal with it, and I feel that if he actually fought with just his probes or just the army, then Polt kills all of it, and then the game's over much earlier. But you still take crippling losses either way. But
yeah, in hindsight, obviously you could say you should have never walked down that ramp and just keep the units up the ramp. HerO want to make sure that all those units that are on the other side of the map that they are committed, because he has Blink Stalker.
If you can just use 3 force fields to lock them out, and you use your 4 sentries, and you do that twice, then it's like, okay, maybe my blink didn't work, but I'm not dead.
Like if he fights half that army, he kills everything without losing. Maybe he loses a sentry, but he shouldn't lose any stalkers. But just fighting everything at once, it's impossible. There's too much DPS in it. So it will come down to the most popular map in the current StarCraft 2 map pool. It is going to be played on Overgrowth. Game number 5. We've seen a lot of PvTs play out on Overgrowth. Often it comes down to that 3rd base, but HerO has shown us today he's not playing PvT in a boring way. You can say a lot about his playstyle, Nate, but it's been very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, he's really busted out a lot of those finesse moves like we talk about. The Warp Prisms have been busted out in every single game so far this series, and this guy's done a good job of adjusting to it. In the top right position, he was down 0-2. He has tied it up 2-2. He's the Red Terran player, Captain America himself. He's CM Storm's Polt.
Putting up one hell of a fight over here on the left bottom side of the map. He still dreams about BlizzCon, but he needs to win it all. Give it up for HerO. If you guys just joined us at home, the way that today has played out means that Jaedong will be going to BlizzCon unless Liquid HerO wins it. HerO is the only player left in this tournament that can prevent Jaedong from qualifying to BlizzCon. Of course, Polt is already qualified. HerO needs to win this, then he is going to have to win his semi-final against Bomber and the grand final against either Hyun or...
Hard.
That's right. Thank you, Nate.
It's definitely a tense situation. You know, Jaedong at the beginning of this series is probably like, guys? And he's like, okay, I forgot. When Polt's behind, that's when he truly shines. And this series, man, the hype was definitely worth it. I did not expect HerO to play as well as he's been playing, but
he played great. He really did. Especially game 1 and 2. That was beautiful to watch.
yeah, he's really stepped it up. He's really stepped it up as we have another set of standard openings. A nice tweet from StarCraft. Shout out to you guys watching StarCraft.
From StarCraft. The creators of StarCraft.
That's a high level meta tweet right there.
He's like that person is basically thanking himself or herself. It's like, hey, you're really awesome for watching StarCraft right now. It's like
It's
patting himself on the back.
You know, it's one part of the machine praising the whole contraption, right?
I
So,
know.
It's all good.
I was just kidding, Nate. Of course. It's great to see all the support. HerO scouting early on. He saw what's going on. Polt would love to try an engineering bay block, but there is a zealot on the way, and HerO will let this zealot finish because of this SCV. And he's like, all right, don't want to worry, don't want to have to.
The age-old SCV fist fight. He's even gonna drop this engineering bay. He's like, yep, you will.
It's just like it's hoping, you know, because sometimes the Protoss players are stubborn and they
Oh,
will
yeah.
just still they make the zealot, but they still cancel it at 95%. It's like, all right, let's get the Nexus down anyway. It's like, eBay, all right,
You
that's
won't
it.
start an engineering bay that late, and then you build it.
You know
and
what
the
I do
Protoss-
when it happens, Nate?
You add 2 gateways.
Yes, exactly.
Well, when I do that, I just go straight up to 3 bunkers, and the Protoss is like, well, reported, and I'm like, what for?
He's like, all right, I can't expand, fine. 4-gate my way to victory or
How did you
defeat.
know I was gonna go for a 4 gateway? I'm like, well, you know, I have an eBay in your natural, so you really don't have a lot of options.
Still, that doesn't mean anything.
On this map, I have seen Protoss play. I have
Take
had
the gold.
Protoss take the gold against me.
Yeah, and then just 8-gate.
I'm like, man, I'm so far ahead. And then I'm like, why do they have 7 gateways in production?
I mean, Arthur was the true pioneer of that build.
Yeah, it's like, well.
Yeah. Those were either some of the ugliest or most beautiful games of StarCraft 2 we have seen in 2014. Good old habitation station. 1 gate fast expand into 8-gate. I've seen Terrans die with 6 bunkers in their natural. It's like, well, I almost have more bunkers than I have bio units. I really don't know what else I should be doing.
Many tears were shed. Polt going for both add-ons before second gas is highly unusual. He can't afford to get both stim and combat shield, so this must be... he could just get stim and try to do a marauder push, like there's an early heavy marauder attack,
Yeah,
or maybe even just concussive shell.
Doesn't really line up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, it's stim. Like this gives you like the power to make one of those pushes that's been semi-popular in the last few months. We saw Bomber attempt it with like just combat shields, and you certainly can do it with this opening. You just delay your medevacs by a lot, and it might not seem like he's made the investment yet, but Polt has significantly delayed when his medevacs will be coming out due to the way that he's opened in this game.
Especially if he decides to research combat shield now as well before he drops a factory. He's still doing this of 1 gas as
That
well.
would be really insane. If
Kind
you,
of a
if you keep
confusing
producing
opening, right?
Marauders, yeah, you can't produce Marauders off 1 gas and actually climb to 100 gas.
No.
So that's not how this game works.
I mean, I'm sure there is a reasoning why behind Polt's. Okay, there
Maybe
we
he
go.
was expecting to see a toilet. Yeah, there's combat shield.
But
So
that means that this factory won't go down until.
well,
like,
this is just a super fast stim combat shield push.
it's similar to
that-
merry-go-round in a way.
Yeah,
It's not very different.
yeah. It's he had a very late factory that game as well. But this push is like an actual. He's looking to kill HerO or completely cripple him in the same way they did in the last game, which is very doable. As HerO's unlikely to have a Colossus in time to deal with this, especially since he's going for a Twilight as his follow-up to the robotics facility.
Yeah, but of course, let's not forget that the last game played out a lot because of the way how awkward HerO's units were in position and he couldn't use the mothership core. If he has a photon overcharge and a time warp in his natural, it is safe to say that he's not going to lose 12 probes. He might lose 1 or 2,
Yeah,
but
I
is this
think
going to be Dark
it's-
Templar drop?
It's very heavily dependent.
This is Arion's build, Nick. I think it's DT drop, straight up DT
I
drop.
don't think he needs to build a Warp Prism this fast for that, but it is interesting. So now this army pushes out, and it's a charge open. Oh, this build gives you nothing that's good against this attack. Like, I really feel like we've been seeing more and more, like, players like Tasia showed, and these been losing that stalker. Players like Tasia have shown that if you have enough bio, you don't need to worry about the Nexus. And I can tell you what, Roddy, I've played versus some foolish Protoss players that don't have enough force fields. If you get close to that Nexus with all these units, it doesn't matter if it's Photon overcharged. It's like Photon over dead.
I mean, there are a couple of force fields. There is a cannon as well. There are a few more Zealots being wiped in. Like, that Warp Prism is annoying, but there is so much DPS in this Terran army. Here comes the big stim. Those force fields are acceptable, actually. Yeah. Oh, there's a hole in the force fields though. But there's an immortal now.
That immortal is important. Yeah, I mean, Polt, he needs to make up his mind with that second sim. Okay, yeah, now just the Nexus, as you guys can see. I feel like, yeah, okay, killing the probes is okay, but at this point, you do really want to get that Nexus.
A lot of sentries going down though. The immortal might even fall as well. A lot of proto units have died over here. Oh, wow. Good save there.
Not bad.
But he lost the mothership core, he lost all his sentries, he lost that cannon as well.
He only lost 5 probes.
He lost so much
I
gas,
think if you kill that Nexus, that's where things get really messed up for the Protoss, because where's the transition here, though?
I still
Plus
think
2 armor is on the way, which I think is really important to note with Charge and the Templar Archives. This is giving me... Oh, who was the Protoss player that we saw at Battlegrounds that played with the Zealot Archon style? Yeah, he had a pretty reasonable amount. He dragged the game out pretty well. From an awkward position with this setup because of those armor upgrades.
On Catalina, right?
Yeah.
That was a great game. That was a really good game. But I still really like that investment there
and
by
he does
Polt.
have the Warp Prism alive.
True.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just feel like it could have been a lot worse. For
But
HerO.
imagine if there isn't that one hole in that one force field and those bio units don't stream through.
Then you get wrecked.
Yeah, then HerO's in a fantastic position. These 3 Zealots doing a little bit of work over here. They're only Marauder shooting at the Marine there as well. Small misclick for Polt. He's putting his units in a really good choke point there though, making it very awkward for these Zealots. More Zealots being warped in. A couple of Marines do spawn. Polt is still out on the maps with his units.
With Charge, this is so difficult to deal with because your units get chased around and that +2 armor almost finishing. Just a shame that he can't keep the Warp Prism alive. It was a bit more adventurous than necessary, and somehow he's in the natural too. It's like, how did you get in there?
One happy little Zealot. Polt's still up 6 workers though, Nate, and he's up a base. Like, you can't deny the fact that it's a very, very comfortable scenario for Polt to be in.
Polt's position is still great because the way the build order that's been chosen is you can't just fight head on. You need to have positioning, you need to have energy.
That Marine thought about it for a long time.
It's like, I'd like to kill that probe, but Stalker's
I should kill that probe. You know what? I'm just gonna do it.
Stalker's
and then Stalker's like, nope.
This army's not really in a great position just yet to defend this. Storm is not quite done. Of course, Polt doesn't know that, so you don't want to run into this. Those Immortals will still wreck base. That veteran Immortal.
Yeah. HerO needs like 1 or 2 good engagements and then just stabilize on these 3 bases, and then this is still truly anybody's game. Upgrade-wise, HerO does have that +2 armor, like you mentioned, Nate. Polt has +2 attack on the way, only +1 armor, so you know, upgrade-wise, HerO is definitely doing okay for himself, but it's the income which Flo is showing us as well, where Polt is truly dominating HerO right now with all these mules. That's a bunker, but it's empty, so these 2 Zealots will actually be pretty frustrating over here for Polt to deal with.
Yeah, empty bunker.
Yeah, that's nice. This kind of stuff is really nice. This is really what HerO needs. When you're behind in this matchup, you really just need to slow the Terran down. And look at all these mules. That is a lot of lost money.
Yeah, I really like how much Polt has turned up the heat for these last few games, but he doesn't quite have the tech that he needs. The +2 armor, the +2 attack upgrade is going to be done reasonably soon for Polt. So.
Oh, High Templar in the mix as well. We do have Storm, Nate. This could actually do very well. This is a pretty well saturated base. Imagine if he just drops the Zealots and all the SCVs clumped up, and then he drops the High Templar. A man could have dreamed.
Still great though.
Yep.
Picks
Still
up
awesome
a lot of SCVs. He wants to run over. He's like,
no. Okay, well done there by HerO. Keeps the Warp Prism alive. Polt, of course, he is still in an okay position. He still has a big army lead. And the moment that Polt starts producing Ghosts, you know, Ghosts are going to be very strong against every single unit that HerO has out on the map. It's simple like that.
Yeah. I mean, EMP will wipe the hardened shields off the Immortals. Archons are just shields.
Oh. The dream, Nate.
He's really trying to get that Warp Prism.
How much? I'm really curious to see how much energy that High Templar has.
He's got to have enough for another storm by now.
You think? Gonna try.
Oh.
Right.
He's like, get me out of here, man. No? Oh,
No.
I guess he was close.
I think the answer is no, Nate. Oh well. Anyway, that bought HerO a solid minute or two that allowed him to get him a much stronger army. Portal has a lot of Marauders, which are either going to be fantastic or they will just all die. Ooh, this is a massive drop though. HerO spots it. He has units in position. He has Photon Overcharge as well. Feedbacks do a lot of damage, but he needs a couple of storms too. The units are quite clumped up over there. HerO, those storms are great.
Army taking a lot of heat here. A couple Templar do get picked
Those
up though with a lot of
Immortals.
energy.
Those Immortals are wrecking the Marauders over here, don't Nate?
Yeah, this is
Wow,
a nice
HerO.
defense. HerO
Yeah, that's an excellent hold.
Chops down a massive army supply lead that Polt had. And
Yep.
he still finds himself ahead, but not as much as he would like to be.
No, that was well done there by HerO. He didn't underreact. He split up his army properly. Had the Monish before helping out as well. Feedbacks making sure that not all Medivacs could leave that base. That was good, but of course, the big fight, that's where it's truly going to happen. These bad boys that can cloak, that can go invisible, they are the absolute playmakers now for Polt. Couple of EMPs over those Immortals, and all those Marauders actually wreck the Immortals instead.
Yep. That's a fight that turns very, very quickly. With 5 Immortals, you're pretty much one-shotting whatever Marauder is up closest up front.
Robo Bay going down as well. It's about to finish up. If HerO can get a Colossus or 2 out, you're also looking at a different game.
Vikings.
Yeah, it's key for HerO that he splits up his High Templars. He needs to get High Templars from every angle. He has a Warp Prism as well. HerO is very good. Oh, no, that's a very awkward movement. Okay, the storm is actually huge. Second storm is pretty okay too. The Immortals again derping a little bit. 1 or 2 Immortals are going to fall. It seems like 2 Immortals will fall and a High Templar. So expensive misclick there for HerO.
Yeah, Warp Prism on the left side gets seen. As this Marines step inside. Oh, HerO's just got like, how many Warp Prisms does he have? 2 on the map right
Yep.
now? Not bad.
There is one Viking there, but he still should be able to warp in a bunch of Zealots. That could buy him a lot of time, especially because it's not going to work out. Oh, Dark Templar, I guess. No, the Dark Shrine is not ready yet. It's almost ready. HerO really needs to start spreading out his High Templars in the best way possible. He does have the Warp Prism. He's going to try to drop those High Templars. First Storm is good, but he needs a lot of those, Nate. He's down 40-50 army supply. The storms are going to have to be absolutely magnificent.
This army is just too small. He's relying on the storms to soften everything up, kill the Marines, and let the Immortals kill
Polt.
the Marauders that are left over.
Yeah, beautiful execution so far of this attack by Polt. Not clumping up too much, not allowing HerO to get the storms that he's looking for. HerO is going to be forced to take a fight soon that he really doesn't want to take. He's down 50 army supply. High Templars need to make the difference, coming from the Warp Prism.
Great storms from behind, but is there just too much Terran bio here? The Ghosts are going to cloak, and HerO's BlizzCon dreams crumble as Polt crashes through his third base. The Warp Prism from behind not able to make the plays necessary as the third base is toppled over. Polt up 100 supply, is looking to advance on to the semifinals of the World Championship Series America, and HerO looking a little bit distraught, Roddy.
Yeah, devastated, of course. He tried so hard. He showed up well today. He's going to
5
warp in.
DT warp in.
Yeah, a bunch of DTs, but of course the scan will go down, and with that, it seems like HerO will go down. He still played a great series, but Polt just showing so much character, so much experience. He just never gets upset. He's down 2 maps, and he just plays amazing in the next 3 like it's nothing. Absolutely stunning performance by Polt as well. HerO, yeah, obviously a devastating loss, Nate.
Yeah, he played so well this series. Really showed us something we haven't seen from him in a long time. But Polt is the comeback king for a reason.
Truly is. Once more, Polt does it. Down 0-2 after HerO just plays like an absolute god in the first 2 matches. But somehow he turned it around again. Just beautiful play by Polt in the last 3 games, switching up his openings, making it hard for HerO to make it. Like we said it in the start of the series, all that HerO needs is to make it into a certain stage in the game while not being behind. And I think it's safe to say in game 3, 4, 5, he was just always behind, and he was never really able to get a true, comfortable stage where he's sitting on both Colossus and High Templars. If he gets there, he's so incredibly good at this game, but he just took too much economic damage in the start.
Yeah, this series overall came down heavily to the way that the openers set the players up for the mid game. Game number 1, Catalina, the Phoenix did a phenomenal job. The Oracle didn't really do too much, but he kept it alive. Very different than the other Terran vs. Protoss that we've seen today. But it also allowed him to keep tabs on the army, and that allowed the Phoenix to stop the first medevac move out from Polt, and that built into Game 1 victory. Game number 2, Polt went for the Hellion play, which just didn't do anything at all. And then game number 3, 4, 5, we saw this type of play come out of Polt, which gave him a lot better leads.
If that one force field, the second one to the right is a little bit more to the left, these units are going to have a harder time getting through, and I really think that the Immortal and the Zealots and the Sentries and the Stalker 2 can just fight it immediately, and with Photon Overcharge assistance, it would have gone so much better for HerO. Just he saw the fraction too late. He kept the Immortal alive, but he still took a lot of damage over there. And I couldn't agree more with you, Nate. It really came down to the openings. I think game number 2 was King's Sejong Station, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, like HerO also just not taking much damage from the Hellion.
Yeah, he shut the Hellions down completely, and he got a very quick third base, and there wasn't really a whole lot that Polt could do about it. And he also, to keep in mind,
and they were like even in supply, and then this is why HerO is like harassing with War Prisms is fantastic, but it's really risky when you have very little at home. It's a lot easier when you have a reasonable army at home to defend against any sort of aggression. And just like you said, in game number 3, 4, and 5, there was always some economic damage that he took early on. Of course, Nimbus just played out unfortunate for HerO, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing about Nimbus
The double Oracle.
Yeah, the double Oracle.
It was a cool play, but it didn't work out.
Quite get him as much as he was looking for. And Polt, that's classic TVP. That's like, you look at 2012. Terran vs. Protoss overall has always been, like, your primary focus is the Terran, and if you in a normal game is to delay and cancel the Protoss's third base up to like 14, 15 minutes, and then they're just kind of screwed because they don't have the money they need to switch into both Templar and Storm. Polt did that perfectly to a T, and that's how he got the victory. And then after that, it was all those early aggressive plays.
It was definitely a beautiful series, a very entertaining one, whether you're a Protoss, Zerg, or a Terran player. I think that you must have enjoyed that series, and I can't wait to see how Polt experienced that series as he's sitting down with our very own Cam Dozer.
Thank you, Roddy. Polt. Unbelievable. I'm not even exactly sure what else to say about that comeback. When you're on the edge of defeat in a tournament this size, how do you stay focused and how do you make that comeback? I just don't understand.
Actually, I can't believe this either, but I just tried to play my game. I think my first two games were very bad. I don't know why I played like that, but it was such a bad game. And after that, I just tried to think. I think because of I was trying to adjust to his build orders. I knew he likes that Warp Prism or Phoenix things, harassments. But since I worried about that too much, I couldn't play my game. But after that, I don't know. I'm down 0-2. I'll just play my game and won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Now, until today, HerO actually, in your guys' career matchup, had gotten the better of you. He was up 5-4. Now that you've kind of had this sort of a comeback against a player that had typically beaten you in the past, do you feel like you're ready to get the monkey off your back with all the 3rd and 4th place finishes and the 2nd place finishes and get back to the top of WCS America?
Actually, this year, in the first season, I lost at quarterfinals.
Right.
And second season, same, I lost at the quarterfinals. And third season, it was about to happen, but it didn't happen. I'm in the round of 4 right now. And in the history, we can see it. If I advanced into the semifinals, I always won the WCS America.
All right. Now, in order to win this, though, you're going to be up against Bomber. You just faced him at Red Bull Battlegrounds in Washington, D.C., and it was a 5-game series where you almost pulled the same comeback that you pulled tonight. How are you feeling about that matchup tomorrow?
It was always same with this, but I lost at very last game. But I think since I had that experience, so even if I I get down 0-2 again, I'm still okay. I think I can come back because I already proved I can catch up 2-2 and proved today I can also come back 3-2, winning 3 games in a row. So, well, but it's not an ideal situation. Hopefully, I get 3-0 him.
Right. Now, with this win, you just overtook San in WCS points, and you're now ranked 4 in WCS points, and you can potentially climb even higher tomorrow if you were able to win the entire tournament. How important is the seeding at BlizzCon to you for providing maybe easier matchups in the early round?
Almost every single player at BlizzCon is very, very good player, but I think there are some players I play more, I think more easier. I mean, I don't think they are bad, but they are easier for me. Like, some players are not good at in vs Terran matchup. So, to get that matchup, I think I have to get the first place. I think it's the best place to be in.
Of course, first place is always the best place. Thank you so much for your time. Let's throw it back to the casters to hear their final thoughts on this great day of StarCraft. Gentlemen?
A great day of StarCraft it has been indeed, Cameron. Nice to hear from Polt, and yeah, like we said, fantastic comeback.
I just love how he says, like, yeah, he's like, I'm surprised I came back and won 2. Like, I just played my game and I was like, man, I really hope I somehow take 3 games in a row. And he did.
It's been a very long day of StarCraft 2, but it's been a very fun one. What was your favorite series of the day, Nate?
Oh, I think without a doubt that series, man.
last
You
one?
know, I'm the kind of guy, I say I like my cheesy games, my crazy games, so I have a soft spot for those weird ones between Bomber and Pig Baby. But this was the one series that went the distance today, as we had a little bit on the one-sided affair for the other 3 matches. So I was quite impressed by Polt's play. I'm more so surprised by how well HerO played than Polt's comeback, because it's kind of what Polt does, but HerO really showed that he had his game stepped up a lot for this match.
Yeah, especially the first 2 games.
Yeah.
That was truly beautiful. I haven't seen HerO play that well in many months, so make sure to show him some support as well at Liquid_HerO on Twitter. Show you guys some love. He really he can use it. He deserves it. And I really enjoyed this game as well. I thought overall all series definitely had their moments. We're going into day 2, Nate, with 3 Terrans and a Zerg. Well, what's happening, Nate?
The best players seem to be advancing. The players that are playing better seem to be advancing. I think that's the canned speech I'm supposed to give. Aside from that, these players have all been excelling in matchups that they've statistically been doing very well in. I'm not surprised that Hart would beat any Zerg. In fact, I think despite the ranking difference, despite the fact that Hart can't go to BlizzCon, he has a very solid chance going up against Tian tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't wait for this semifinals. I don't think I've been this excited for a TVZ in a while. Of course, the GSL finals was amazing. I was really hyped for that one too. But Hart versus Hyun. Hyun, of course, the WCS America Season 1 champ. The #1 player in the world when it comes to WCS points goes up against Hart. A player that I truly fell in love with over this year of WCS America. I think we're going to see some truly beautiful highlight plays tomorrow in that series. Like, the way that I have it in mind is that series is going to be so epic that you can fill an entire top 5 of highlight plays of that series alone, of the engagements. I think that TVZ is going to be off the charts.
And then you have another rematch. Polt versus Bomber for the other semifinal. Terran versus Terran action. The series that they've played in the Battlegrounds tournaments throughout the course of the year have been explosive, to say the least. Not many long games at all.
Nope.
And even some of the funniest moments from the recent DC finals took place in their last meetup.
Of course, Nate is referring to the 7 Medivacs that were all full of bio units that Bomber lost, but in the end, it didn't bother him too much. He still went on to win the series. Polt was close to making a comeback in this one, or in that one, but this time he went all the way. So we have an amazing top 4 ahead of us. Want to thank everybody at home for tuning in, of course. Keep those tweets coming, #WCS. We read them all, we enjoy it, and of course we bring them up. And these are the final words of Nate and me. We'll be back tomorrow. You guys back tomorrow as well? Alrighty. Then to truly bring it home, we're going to give the final words of the day to our very own Clutch.
Thank you, gentlemen. What a pleasure it was to see some incredible StarCraft today. Huge congratulations to Bomber, Polt, Hyun, and Hart. A big thank you to our sponsor, Newegg, and to our live audience, who I'm sure had a great time today. And to everybody watching around the world, a special shout out to the East Coast of the United States, New Jersey, New York, Virginia, the Carolinas, Florida. We all love you. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific time. You don't want to miss it, because tomorrow we crown an American champion. Until then, good night and good game.